OHSAA Wrestling on Waycross Community Media. Brought to you by SWOCA, the Southwest Ohio Wrestling Coaches Association. Klein Properties. Foster and Motley, Financial Consultants. Dr. Stephen Daly. Dr. Kevin Riley. Matt and Dominic Mercurio. Cincinnati Sub-Zero. Cincinnati Functional Fitness. General Advertising Products.
Is done. Okay, welcome to Waycross Community Media's coverage of the District 1 Finals at Kettering Fairmont High School. I'm Dave Bean, and with me are the guys who will call the matches. Tim Cunningham, who's been doing this for over 10 years now, and our newest Cablecast team member, Dwayne Meyer. Tim, tell us a little bit about the battle for the team finish.
Sure will, Dave. We got a three-team race right now. LaSalle's in first at 175. LaSalle's got 8 guys placing with 3 in the finals. Elder's at 168.5, so only 6.5 back. But Elder only has 6 wrestling tonight, but 4 are in the finals, which are some pretty big points. So it's close there. And then Mason's at third at 164.5. Mason's got 7 guys wrestling tonight with 3 of them in the finals. So depending on who wrestles best tonight, this could be a really close race. Your top 10 look like this, Dave. You got Fairmont at 49 in 10th, Miamisburg with 51 in 9th, Northmont 8 at 54.5, Butler 7th at 63.5, Moeller in at 75.5, Fairfield at 85, and in 4th place Harrison at 100.
Okay, and Dwayne, how about the individual excitement thus far in the tournament? What have you seen?
Oh, there's been some great matches so far, Coach. A couple featured ones, like right here with Shupp, who's moved or dropped down a weight to get back at 106, battling for the championship. Had a couple upsets at the 126 and throughout. So they're getting ready to roll here if you want to jump on the match.
Okay, we've got the 106-pounders on the mat. And who we got out there? Dwayne?
We got Zach Shupp, Fairfield. Zach's a junior. Last year he placed 6th to state, was a qualifier the year before.
He's going up against Lucas Bird, a guy out of LaSalle here who's already been a state placer, 7th last year. He's 44-1 coming in. He's only a sophomore, currently ranked number 1 in the state in most of the predictions, and all the way up as 4th in the country.
Yeah.
So Bird and Shupp met last week. I think it was a 4-2 match in the sectional finals. But like you and I were talking at dinner there, Dave, Shupp has on his sheet that he's 2-1 against Bird because he beat him twice last year.
Well,
Bird has himself as 1-0 against Shupp. So
well, Shupp had just dropped too.
Yeah.
Your first week down at weight is tough. But I tell you, I've been watching Luke Bird since he was 4 years old. He'd come over and work out with us, and he's a mat rat through and through. So it should be a heck of a match.
Yeah, there's no doubt. From the top down, his dad and his brother. So I think he's going to be an excellent college wrestler, Dwayne, with only 106 pounds. College being 125, he's going to be a perfect fit in there probably. So,
and he's only a sophomore.
He's only a sophomore.
And Shupp's only a junior.
Yep.
And we've got there's 2 other matches going on at the same time. So sometimes you'll hear noise that doesn't correspond to the action you're seeing. We have a 3rd place match going on, and we have a match for 5th, which is the alternate position in the event that someone in the top 4 is eliminated by injury or sickness or something like that. Then the alternate steps in. And for the 3rd place match, we have That's which Bird is that?
Baird from Harrison.
Which
We got
one?
Baird. We got Cameron Baird, the
Yeah,
sophomore.
Cameron Baird, the younger. And from Mason, we have the
Najusik.
I'm glad you said that. That's the one I can't pronounce that. And they're wrestling for third place out here at the same time. You're seeing this cable cast after the state tournament, folks, and that's not because we couldn't get it on the cable. It's because at the request of the Coaches Association, we don't broadcast it before the state tournament. It is something that can be used as a scouting instrument for opponents that these guys are going to meet upstate. So it's kind of a secret deal. We're keeping our secret.
What's funny about that, though, Coach, is every one of these kids are all over Flow. I mean, they wrestle with the Iron Man. You wrestle with the Powerade. You can get videos on all these guys. Super 32. I mean, you Google Luke Bird, and you're going to find 100 videos, you know.
Yeah, that's probably true. That used to be a good reason, not to do it. But you're probably right. It's probably all over YouTube now.
They had a couple different routes to get here today. Shupp coming into the semis only won 3-2 against Baird of Harrison, and Bird ended up winning 19-2 in the semis. So should be an interesting match. 1-0. Bird's got the 1-point escape in the second here, but
Bird chose down.
Yeah,
Tim got his escape there.
choice.
I'll tell you, I like the Harrison team, by the way.
Tough
Young
kids,
team, all brothers. I mean, you got to love that stuff. Yeah, Coach Dennis has done a great job with the Harrison crew.
Yeah, this is one of the best performances Harrison's had in a number of years.
And they're going to keep getting better. They're very young.
Actually, it seems to me that the whole upper rank in team competition this year is young.
I think Mason's got a lot of seniors on the team. You got Donson's a senior. I think the 26-pounder is a senior. So I think they've got a few.
Yeah,
LaSalle's got a couple seniors as well.
Well, back to the match here. We just had Bird got a point for stalling on Shupp here. I actually missed the first stalling call on Shupp. I didn't see that. So we're 2-0 Bird here, and it's going to be his choice. So Shupp really needs a takedown here to stay in the match.
And Bird's not giving much of a shot. He's keeping that underhook in, keeping head position on the far side, so he's forcing Shupp to stay square. He's not able to get an angle and attack.
It'll be interesting, Dwayne, to see just how the brackets come out. Number one is Bird in most polls, but number 2 is Tag, who Bird and Tag have split this year. So, I don't know how the bracketing can work, but if Bird and Tag end up on the same half, Shupp could make it all the way to finals.
Yeah, and it's how it works at state. Unless you're a returning state finalist, they won't seed you. So if you have 2 returning state finalists in the same bracket, they'll put them on opposite sides.
And Tag's only a freshman, so.
Yeah, and Bird wasn't in the finals last year.
Yep. So, I mean, it could be, if Bird were to win this, he could still end up with Tag in the semis, which would be beautiful for Shupp, So you just never know how the bracket gods will play to you,
In case you don't recognize the uniforms, we got Shoot of Fairfield is in the singlet, and Bird has the singlet with wearing the silver long leg tights.
The throwback.
Shoop is green on the scoreboard.
So it's still 2-0 for Bird with a minute and 30 to go here in the third.
Dwayne, you got to be impressed with Bird. I mean, last year I think he did lose to Shupp twice, but probably was a little undersized at 106. So you see him kind of grow into the weight class this year, and he just really has been pretty flawless the whole year. He's won at Brecksville, top-notch tournament. He's won at Top Gun, won at Wadsworth. He won the coaches, so I think you'll see both of these guys high on the podium next week.
And then for third place down there, it looks like we have Mason up 2-0 right now over Harrison.
Oh, I'm just saying that the score is off. We're having to look at in a funny direction for the scoreboard. It's 2-1 at this point.
Correct.
Yeah, Shupp got the escape. And at that stalling point that Bird got in the second period, just could be huge. It could end up being the whole match. Because Bird doesn't have to score here. He just has to avoid any stallings and not And there it is. The ref knows it too. They tend to like to make that call.
And that's a call coaching for years I struggle with. You know, you're in these big matches, you want to let the kids decide it. And,
Yep.
you know, Bird's doing a good job. He gets double underhooks in and pushes Shup backwards, and they're going to give a stall warning to Shup. But, you know, Bird's not going to score from the double underhooks either.
No, we've got 12 seconds left in the period.
And Bird's just doing a great day, wrestling on the edge of the mat. He's staying at the right-hand underhook, head on the opposite side.
Yep.
It's just hard for Shup to break
Hold
off
him
and
square,
score
nothing
there.
he can do.
We do have a
And
stalling
right there,
call,
he's
though,
running
so
backwards. I don't know how you don't call it.
that was close.
That's part of wrestling. As unfortunate it is to see it come down that stall point.
It's a part of the strategy, and it's a tough way to go down. We saw a match earlier in the day that resulted in actually they call it a fleeing, avoiding call at the 285-pound division that cost Winton Woods heavyweight a
Trip to
chance
the
to
state.
go on. Yeah.
So Mr.
Okay,
Shup
we're
wasn't
up
very
to-
happy there with the results of not getting that stalling call. So when he walked off, we got all the refs sitting right in front of us. You can see him on the bottom screen. And Zach said a little something that the refs could hear. So he got a team point taken away from Fairfield there as he
Ouch.
walked off the mat.
Okay, so we're going to 113.
I'm going to have Logan Hoskins, freshman out of Butler, that's made his way into the district finals as a freshman. It's pretty impressive. Coming in at 35-17, was first at sectionals, and it's first tournament he's won all year, he says. But he's wrestled good. I watched him in the semis against Nick from Northmont. He wrestled a great match, so impressive for a freshman.
And he's going against Corey Baird from Harrison. He's 40-5. He's a senior. He was a league champ, sectional champ. Last year, actually his sophomore year, he finished 8th at the state. Last year he was injured and wasn't able to compete.
Yeah, he got injured right at the end of the year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah. And Hoskins has been around for a while, so I remember seeing him at the junior high and the grade school level.
So we got no score yet. Minute gone in the first period, and we're still 0-0.
That was a nice double. Finished strong, put him up 2-0. He's got that Turk, so Baird's looking tough, and he lets the Turk go here.
Baird had a tough match in the semis against Allen and LaSalle. Again, Allen's another freshman. He had a great year. He's down here wrestling for 3rd and 4th right now against Nick from Northmont. And then Hoskins also had a great match against Nick in the semis and a 7-5 win. Both of them were good semis matches. We've got Baird up 2-0 here with only 20 seconds left, and he's going to be really happy to stay right where he's at, keep the wrist, stay in bounds, let the clock run out.
Yeah, Baird's another one of those guys that's a tough wrestler, Tim. He was his sophomore year when he placed at state, he actually finished 4th here at districts and still managed to go on the podium at state. And
That's impressive.
That's battling.
Yeah.
You know, you're starting out with a #1 right out of the gate. The state tournament as a sophomore, and I'm not sure if he won that match or wrestled back. Just keeping your head on straight in that situation is a tough thing to do as a young guy.
Looks like a big 13-pounder, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a senior. He's got some length and some nice muscle tone.
He just killed the last 3 seconds and did a nice job to ride him out there. It's always a big point to not give up that escape after you get that takedown and take a 2-point lead into the second period. Good position to be in.
So Hoskins' choice, and he deferred, and Baird's going to take down here.
It's interesting that here we're at 113 pounds, and we were talking before about how the guys are ranked in the state, and the Bucksman had originally classified Zach Shook as a 13-pounder, but he dropped down to 106.
Made a late cut.
For the thing. Yeah.
To see if it pays off. I mean, honestly, I think he's good enough to make the finals. I know there's a lot of good 6-pounders around, but Shup's solid, and find out tomorrow just how that draw treats him. who gets tag, assuming tag wins his district.
And you never know what's going to happen in those other districts. And we saw, a couple times see the #1 guy come out and lose district finals and then come back and win the state title the following week. And it's just,
I remember a couple years ago, Harrison had a heavyweight. Didn't make. He came out 5th at district, so he didn't get to go to state where he got in the bracket and ended up placing like 5th or 6th.
so he got 4th, I think.
Yeah.
5th in the districts and 4th at state.
Yeah. Not even a state qualifier, and that just goes to show you just how tight these kids can be and how just anybody can really place on any certain weekend.
All right, so Baird had that escape right away in here in the second, put him up 3-0. So we're sitting at 1:12 to go in the second period. Baird sitting on a 3-0 lead.
Dwayne, I think we'd look to have a pretty good year up at state this year. We have some serious state contenders, the Corey Shies and the Lucas Birds and, McLeod of Elder and
Donathan brothers.
So we'll hope to have a pretty good showing. I think last year we had, 2 in the finals and none won. I think we have Traub and Donathan. We're only 2 finalists.
That's right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think we've got to, based on what we're doing here, the performances that we're seeing here, I think we're in a better position this year than we were last year. I just think we look overall stronger.
Got a lot of kids coming back. That makes a big difference.
It does help.
A lot of returning state placers. Hoskins is he's not getting inside on Baird, so he keeps wanting to tie up high. So he's not really, doesn't look like he's working the score. I'm not sure what he's trying to do here.
So Baird's again in a position here. He'll just take a little, killed his last 18 seconds, take a 3-0 lead, but good job by Hoskins there, fighting him off.
Baird's doing a nice job controlling the wrist, Tim.
Yeah, you can tell Baird wrestles like a senior, doesn't he?
Yep.
There's nothing you can do to make up for experience and, 4 years into this on the high school level.
Wow. Hoskins in tight there.
Great wizard by Baird. It was tight on that double. Maybe give Hoskins a little confidence, though.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Tim. So see what we can do here. He gets a quick escape and get to work.
Absolutely.
He got in tight 2 times in a row right there.
Those were 2 good shots, and like you said, it might not have finished them, but he was out of bounds on one and ran out of time on the other. So,
he's gotten in a couple times, and he didn't complete the drive through the hole. The attempt. He kind of got in and stopped. Now, certainly Baird contributed to him stopping, but he's got to be able to create an angle in there off his attack. When he hits, you can't just keep going in one direction. You got to change that angle in order to finish the takedown.
Tell you, this is kind of where Baird in the semis rode Allen pretty good. So, Baird loves to get that far wrist. He's got control of it. He's keeping the weight on him, so he's very content here. He just doesn't have to do much but put on a nice ride, get side to side, come off the hips now and then, and walk away with
Set up that Granby tilt right now. He's got that cross wrist and keeps loading it up. That really keeps him out of trouble for getting hit for stalling. He's doing a nice job on his toes, keeping all his weight forward, and that's tough on Hoskins when your forehead's on the mat like that.
Yeah, and that takes away that confidence he might have gained in the last minute there on those takedowns now when he can't get out. Taking it's a lot of work from that bottom position. Oh, got the one and then tried a nice quick 3 shot. So now Hoskins down to the last 47 seconds. He's probably looking at a takedown and have to ride him out, so he doesn't have to take him down twice to get maybe send it to overtime. So
I'll tell you, I'm watching Hoskins' style, and I just realized what I'm seeing. The coach for Butler over there is Plummer, and he had a son, Lyle Plummer, if you guys remember. I think he was Chaminade. He was a stud.
Yep.
And that's his dad there. He actually went out to Iowa with us one time for nationals, and he's a great coach. I mean, you can see it coming out in Hoskins right now.
Well, Hoskins going to have to take his best shot here. Every day in practice, you work on your one go-to shot that you've got. And
wow.
Baird gets hit with the stalling there, but then immediately goes and takes a shot. But you got to be careful just not to put yourself in bad position.
He's in a bad way now. Got his head trapped underneath.
Enough time yet.
Back to that wizard. This is where he fought it off last time as they went out of bounds in the second period.
2
That's
seconds left. That's going to do it.
Yeah, he's gonna slide through this. That's a senior freshman matchup there.
Yeah, you've got to be impressed with Hoskins as a freshman to come in here and make the districts, going to state, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. He's getting to state. Come out as a 2 seed. He'll wrestle a 3 next week. So
I want to give a big shout out to one of the Waycross kids, Darius Lovett of Winton Woods, was 3rd in the sectionals and was here. He lost in his first match in the thing to a guy by the name of Feinberg out of Springboro. And then came back in the wrestlebacks. He won a match, defeating a kid from Hamilton, but then ran into a 6-4 loss and was eliminated from the tournament. But good job, Darius. We hope that you find yourself. You're only a freshman, so we hope to see you back here in the future and earning your way to that trip north.
all right, Dwayne, I've got Ronnie Petro out of Vandalia. Butler's already been a 2-time state placer. He's only a junior. He's 51-9 as a freshman, district runner-up. Came in 4th in state that year, and then last year went 37-6. Sectional champ, district champ, and 3rd at the state level. So obviously a very solid kid here now. He's kind of ranked about 8th in the state rankings. And who's he got?
He's got Colin Schuster out of Mason. So Colin's a senior. He's 45-5. He's a 3-time sectional champ, 2-time state qualifier, and 2-time state placer. He placed 8th as a sophomore and 3rd last year as a junior. Yeah, I've watched Schuster wrestle a bunch, and he is tough.
He's just a goer, isn't he?
Yeah.
He doesn't quit.
Buxman ranks him 2nd in the state at this weight, and so it'll be interesting to see him wrestle now and being ready to hopefully get the prime draw in Columbus.
So who's ranked number 1 here, Dave?
Bryce and
the St. Ed's kid,
Andonian,
who I think beat Tag in the finals last year at 6,
okay.
didn't he? Yeah. So he's moved up to 120. So on our screen right now, let's see, back to 113. I think we've got.
Looks like we're in overtime.
No, I think this is 5th and 6th actually. This is Dillon of Lebanon and Kleinberg of Springboro. So they're right now fighting it out for the alternate spot. And just like we talked about that Harrison kid a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
It matters. I mean, if somebody doesn't make
does.
weight, somebody gets sick, somebody has some skin issues, these guys could find themselves in the bracket. And you know what, Dwayne, the advantage here is if they do make it, they don't go in as a 4th. They don't re-bracket the whole thing.
That's whoever's out. Yeah.
Number 1 guy goes out, they can come in as a number 1 seed as a 5th place
That's
finisher.
right.
So that can be the luck of the draw for you. So this match means something.
It happened twice to me over the years. Once from the losing standpoint, one of my kids blew a knee in pre-state tournament practice, and they had to bring somebody in, and by that time they had this alternate system set up. Earlier, I had a guy that was called on Wednesday to show up in the state. In those days, you only went Friday, Saturday, and they called and said, "Can your kid make weight?" That's the only thing they wanted to know. Yeah, well, he can. Okay, well, bring him to Columbus. He's wrestling.
That's pretty cool.
All right, so we're rolling here at 120 in the district finals with Colin Schuster of Mason and Pietro of Butler.
And we had another Waycross kid here, John Caraher of Coleraine, was 3rd in the sectionals, and he had a couple wins here during the course of things. He finally got dumped in the quarterfinals in the consolation 3-2 and a tiebreaker. Tough way to go. And Caraher, what grade is he? He's a senior. That's always sad. You see those guys that make it all the way here as seniors and they go out in that go-to match. Boy,
That's a tough one.
That's always sad.
Yeah,
Schuster had a tough match to get here. You got, one of the twins, the Crafts out of Northmont. Schuster had a 2-1 match with him in the semis. Petro, on the other hand, had a 3-0 victory over Thomas, Jabari Thomas out of Fairfield. And he was a sophomore there, so I was impressed with Petro, and Pietro, however you say it, in the semis there. So I think Schuster will have a tough match here.
You know, Mason's had an interesting season. They wrestle a little bit different schedule than a lot of our local teams. They don't wrestle at the Glen Sample Swoka Holiday Classic. Instead, they choose to go off into, I don't know, it's Indiana or Illinois, someplace over there.
Chicago or something?
Yeah, it's Chicago. It's
Someplace in
Illinois.
that area. And they
Dvorak, is that what it's called? The
Something
Dvorak
like
tournament?
that, yeah.
And they were one of our Division I team competition representatives. They won the regionals and went on to the Final Four. They won a match, their first match against Brecksville, and then dropped their next match to St. Ed's, but at a respectable, very respectable score, as a matter of fact. Probably as good a performance as we've seen since the initial year of the state duels, when Moeller did well in the first match of the first round and then came back and dropped the next round. But, you know, that's tough competition, and to have that kind of depth is a wonderful thing. But team depth does not necessarily equal individual tournament depth.
Tournament depth comes down to getting 3 or 4 champs.
That's right.
And then you get a bunch of guys through those wrestlebacks, and even that 5th and 6th place match, that counts. You get some points on the board
absolutely.
for that.
You get 4 kids placing at state, you'll be top 10.
Yep.
So I think Petro's doing a nice job here.
Wow.
Wow, warning.
It's like watching a college match. I love it.
Well, he's riding him into the mat.
He's keeping his head on the
mat.
mat.
The old cowboy ride there. Get a hold of him and thump you. Keep the pressure on. He's up on his toes a lot. That puts all that pressure up there on Schuster's head.
There's another Butler kid here too, and we talked before about Coach Plummer, and I tell you, you get a coach like that in your organization, and he's great with guys that size. Lyle was that size, and now you're seeing 2 good practice partners out here, wrestling for a district title.
Depth in the room and depth in schedule makes for champions.
Nice job there. Now Mason also wrestled at the Ironman tournament, which
that's right, they did.
That really gets those kids ready.
Right.
It's a brutal tournament to start the season out with, and then when you get back to this time, you get in a tough match like you saw at the Ironman, and hopefully that tenacity bounces back. You realize you've been here before, and you can gut it out.
Yeah, I only went up the Ironman once. You were there several times with your sons, I know, Dwayne. I couldn't get used to the tournament finals where there's people sitting on the edge of the mat.
Yeah,
I mean,
it used to really pack them in.
I'll tell you, this is the district finals is almost like every match that you wrestled Ironman.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, and the wrestlebacks. I mean, I just think, I've always, I think Dan Gable actually said it, it's nice to be an NCAA champ, but give me the guy that loses first round and comes back to place third. That's the toughest guy in the whole tournament.
Yeah.
These kids that wrestle back for third, those are the guys that's the hardest match you ever wrestle in your life, is that win or be done for the year at that Conso semifinal match.
That's why I've always said, it almost seems unfair when you lose the semis at district, and within an hour, you're back on the mat wrestling for a go-to-state match.
It's a character builder, man.
And it is, it's almost an advantage to the kid that's now come back and won 2 or 3 in a row to be in that Conso semis, as opposed to that kid that just lost in overtime of Meek and his dream. So it can be a very tough round, and it happens more often than you think that guy in the semis, who's a better top-ranked wrestler, ends up going down to that Conso semis and doesn't get the victory.
Yeah.
As a parent, I hate that match.
Oh, I hate it.
As a coach, I loved it.
Exactly.
And I think back to all those times, we go wrestle these tough tournaments, and your kids lose a tough match here and got to bounce back, and that's where you want to get tested. The kid that's 40-0 and loses that semifinal match has to bounce back. Odds are he's not going to make it. That kid that's 29 and 14, he's already lost a few. It's not a big deal. Turn it on and come win another one. So.
Because the goal here is just get out. Because once you make it to state, you never know what can happen.
Anybody can be a state champ,
you
man.
Absolutely can. So first goal is to get there. And that's why these kids that lose in the semis here, they can get over that pretty quick, because next week they're in the show and they got a chance. So
All right, so Schuster's got a 1-0 lead, and Pietro chooses down here going into third period.
Just as a point of note here, we have Jabari Thomas of Fairfield wrestling Chad Kraft of Northmont for third place, and Collins of Elder and Barnhart of Harrison are going for the alternates position.
Dwayne, is Schuster a top guy? Does he wrestle hard on top, or is he more of a stay on your feet kind of kid?
You know, he's actually pretty decent on top, and that's, Ryan Root is big on takedowns, but Schuster's one of those guys, he can ride hard on top. And, he's rolling around with the Donothans, and both the Donothan boys are brutal on top.
Well, I think what is happening, what's happening is that people are paying attention to the message that the state tournament is given. And that message is you've got to be able to ride guys. We have a tendency in this part of the state to go escape takedown. But when you get to the state tournament, you see a lot more ride out. But not ride out necessarily, but control
Top
for
wrestling.
longer
You
period of
just
time.
don't kick them. Gosh, 10 years ago, that was all you did was just kick them, take them down, kick them,
And I
take
hate
them
it.
down.
I mean, you watch my son Jack, he chooses top every time, you know. And that's why I tell kids I'm coaching, if you want to wrestle in college, you better learn how to wrestle on top.
Absolutely.
That's a bonus point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Plus, it just wears the bottom guy out. Why would you want to give up that advantage of just grinding on the guy?
Gives you the advantage in the third period, I think.
Breaks them mentally.
You put that heavy ride on.
I think Schuster's got to be careful here, just riding on that leg.
He's gonna get hit with
kind of
stalling.
dropping down to it. I mean, he's doing a good job of killing time, but he's not really trying to advance up much. He's staying down low on the legs, and we're a little worried about getting hit with it. But, he's done.
Only 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, there's 20 seconds left, and he's roading the whole time. So.
As long as he hasn't been warned, he's in good shape.
And I haven't seen a warning. So
I haven't seen a warning either.
I didn't see one.
I know the Butler coaches are not real happy over there right now.
Well, their kid's getting ridden for 2 minutes, and that's, you need an escape to go into overtime here. And
yeah, that's really stalling. He's just dropping down to that.
Yeah, I mean, he's not trying to do anything, and he hasn't even gotten a warning yet.
Bottom man is really frustrated. Pietro is really frustrated by this, and that gets inside his head. Schuster's using that ride to.
It was a great match, and so we just got to be careful, right? So the first match we didn't like that the match was won on a stalling call, and here we're it's a no stall call. So as an official, it's a tough middle road to be in.
Every official has a different view of what's stalling and what isn't stalling, and it's you just got to take it out of the official's hand and get your escape.
That's right. You're on the bottom. I mean, just get to your feet
out
and make things happen, and he didn't get those feet once.
Let's move up to 126. Dwayne, who do you have?
I've got Jamin Hood from Mason. So James is a senior. He's 43-3. He's a two-time state qualifier.
He is going to have Jordan Ward, one of the third Ward brother to come through between Joey and Jacoby, and he's being coached by Jermaine Lindsay, coming in at 32-7, second at sectionals. He was a state qualifier last year, second at districts, and his brother Joey was a two-time state champ,
Two-time state champ,
yep. And currently ranked like 5th, 6th, 7th, depends on the rankings on wrestling for North Carolina. So.
And Jacoby was a 4-time state placer, and you don't get to hear much about those kids.
Yeah.
And Jacoby did it the hard
rare.
way. I mean, he placed 4th at districts a couple times and still got on that podium to state tournament.
Yeah, one time he had a bad ankle or something, and still fought his way through to being a state placer. It's
And
impressive.
Jacoby's currently wrestling at the Air Force Academy.
Did you hear today that Moeller Andrew Mendel made it to the NCAA tournament?
I did.
That's pretty
He's
cool,
one of my
huh?
favorites, man.
He's
I
a
got to
great
coach
kid.
Andrew from 4 years old on, and he's one of those kids who was always a middle of the roader, and one day it clicked. He's just an animal on the
He's just a
mat.
hard-working, intelligent kid. I mean,
Yep.
I loved watching him wrestle.
You mean a kid at West Point could be intelligent? Is that what you're calling?
I think you just watching the match here. Hood, had his foot up and all that, but kind of pushed him and drove him out of bounds when I think Hood was in good position there. Should have maybe tried to stay in the middle of the mat and finish the takedown.
Well, in the semifinal match, Jordan was wrestling Kraft, who he actually lost to Kraft last year in the finals.
He did.
Kraft was in tight, had him on his butt 3 different times and couldn't score, and Jordan won 1-0.
Yeah, rode him out the
Rode
whole
him
2
out.
minutes of the third period.
Yeah, Kraft thought he could catch Jordan riding high and kept trying to catch it and didn't ever go for one. And next thing you know, there were 20 seconds left. And
In Hood, I think, you watch so many matches, but I think Hood got a takedown at the end of the third period there to beat Hurd, the freshman out of LaSalle. So.
And Hurd beat Ward last week.
Yeah, and now he's not even getting out. He lost
and
a tough one to Fuqua on a stalling call, I think.
And that's the one you talked about before, right? You got a stud kid that goes up and loses in the semis as a freshman and then doesn't make it out at all.
Yeah, it's
sectional champ last week, and they're wrestling
only 4 spots.
Wrestling for fifth.
Yeah, Hurd's tough. I think he was a state champ last year in the junior high, and he had a great year and just maybe one place short of where he wanted to be to get in the state.
Curiously, Buxman had picked Hurd above both Ward and Hood in his pre-tournament selections anyway. And here's Hurd, who's fighting to just be an alternate at this point.
Yeah, Hurd's one of those kids that we talked about. If he were to get in as an alternate, he could go up there and place.
Oh, yeah, he
He's
definitely
that good,
plays.
He just he had a tough bracket and just a tough weight class, and lost
maybe
a
the
2-1 match.
Maybe this is the toughest weight class.
It is loaded.
This is a good weight
it's
class.
Pretty darn tough.
And I thought Jordan should have been a state placer last year, and just had a couple bad matches up at state, and didn't get on the podium.
Well, didn't he draw the state champ like first round or something, returning Gates or somebody?
I don't think, because I think he finished second at districts last year, so he definitely wouldn't have had the state champ first round.
I mean, the year previously. I think he had.
He's only a sophomore.
Yeah.
2-2.
Yep. And Hood's a goer, and he will keep on coming.
He's solid too, isn't he?
Yeah, and Jordan will frustrate kids. Usually he'll get a frustration thing in there and take the kid out of their game, but Hood's not one to change his style. He's going to keep coming.
And this is probably where Jordan wrestles. He's good at not giving up the takedown here. This is how Joe used to wrestle with one leg, stand out like that. And remember the state finals against Edgar Bright? Joey was in this position for, it seemed like 2 minutes. And he's good. Hood's in there good right now, and Jordan fights for the stalemate. So
yeah, we were talking about that earlier. When my son Dean was a freshman, Joey was on the team as a senior, and Dean is super aggressive. And Joey would go get Dean during practice and have Dean shoot those single legs on him and let Dean get in as tight as he could. And Joey would just sit there, and we call it funking. You get a little funky and just funk out of that.
Yep.
Yeah, hold on the wrist, keep noodling that leg, and work for the stalemate, and it just frustrates the crap out of the aggressive wrestler. It's the old Muhammad Ali, let George Foreman hit you as hard as you can, and when he realizes it's not working, then he mentally breaks a little bit. And Joey and Jordan are both great at that. And Jacoby was a different style. Jacoby was a little more aggressive. He's more of a wide-open wrestler.
He's more of a tilter. He tilted people. But yeah, it wouldn't be a big surprise to see one of these two kids make.
Here's a shot of Hood getting that takedown again, Tim.
Yep.
It was really nice. Got him off balance.
Some contact issues going on, so we got a little break in the action here.
On the third place match under Tim, we got Kraft is up over Fuqua right now, 7-3.
Those Kraft brothers are tough.
Yeah.
That's Chase Kraft of Northmont and Fuqua,
the Princeton kid.
Which was actually the quarterfinal match, and Kraft won 5-2 to get into the semis, so now they meet back up for the third and fourth place match.
Man, George's doing a nice job of fighting that off, but Hood is just coming and coming.
Great balance. Great flexibility, great balance. But
another two.
Hood is coming after him.
15 seconds, so that's a big escape for Jordan there. Jordan's good at fighting those off and kind of not giving up the takedowns, but it's not the position you want to ideally be in.
Yeah, he's got to start. I mean, you figure he won the first match on an escape, and he's got 3 escapes this match. That's really all he's scored. You got to get those takedowns in there.
Wow, so interesting call here. It's Hood's choice, and he's going to go ahead and choose neutral, so he doesn't want to be on the bottom here. Even though he's only got a 1-point lead, he could have gone bottom and tried to get that extra point. But
didn't he have a warning? I got to start writing warnings down.
That was the match before, I think, that Mace kid got the stall warning on the bottom, or vice versa. Maybe the Butler kid got the stall warning.
So Jordan's going to have to find somewhere here to be the guy that's taking the shot, the guy that's trying to be the aggressor and get underneath and try to get the takedown here. I don't think it's going to do well for him to just wait on Hood to get another shot in. Oh,
whoa.
Just a great little throw by.
Nice. Great, again, great balance. Both
Hood.
of these are two really outstanding wrestlers. They truly do.
Jordan took the shot, but Hood had his elbows in tight, his hands out, and he just
little throw by.
A little throw by. It was a great.
Tell me, guys, you think these two have collegiate ability?
I would think, yeah, I do. I mean, I think Hood looks like a solid college wrestler. He's already got college body.
I mean, Jordan's a sophomore too, and he's already he's a great rider. You know, that's going to help him in college. And he does a great job of takedowns. Hood's a different wrestler. As Jordan matures, I think you'll see his level of takedowns keep getting better and better and better.
Great job by Hood. That was
Boy, there's power.
Timing.
And that's a senior strength
power.
right there. That's just
power.
Explosive strength.
Hood kind of a little fake the shot, and Jordan sort of stand up a little bit, and Hood just
A little level change.
Yep. Straight through him. Great job. Jordan there just trying to do whatever.
He's going for it all. You know, he's down
Yeah.
3, and I
15 seconds left in the
8-4 match. He had no choice but to try to go for it, you know.
And I love that. I mean,
whoa, what happened?
I think Hood, I don't know if he got poked in the eye or just what he got.
A little strain there. Well, you know,
There we got it on the replay here.
What's it matter if you lose 8-4 or 12-4?
That's right.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
We didn't get the whole thing on that.
Yeah, I always tell the kids there's no honor in losing by 1. You know, don't be content with it.
Nope. So you got to admire Jordan for just taking the chance, you know.
And he's trained with Moran for all those years, and you know, Moran's a big throw guy.
Here's a replay.
I think Hood, he's looking at an elbow problem there.
You get the elbow and fist and everything else in the eye.
Right there.
That jammed his arm a little bit.
Elbow.
Okay.
Right now, Hood's saying just put a Band-Aid on it and let's go. He's got 10 seconds
I can
left.
run for 10 seconds.
Yep. I think you'll see him level change and block a few times here.
That's it. Stay low and circle. Or take a shot. The last thing that Hood would want here is to get tied up and let Jordan get under his arm.
Here we got another replay here. This is brought to you by the Southwest Ohio Wrestling Coaches Association.
It's a great level change.
Elevating. Nice.
We want to recognize our sponsors. We have this match is being brought to you by Klein Properties. And our sponsors are really important because they are the people that make it possible for us to get to be able to cover the state tournament. But it takes a lot to move this whole operation up there. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor, give us a call at Waycross Community Media at 825-2429.
And our district champ there was Jamin Hood from Mason with a great match against Jordan Wardemuller.
Yeah, that was a good match.
132 here. We're going to go up. We're going to have the number 1 kid in the state, Donathan from Mason, but he's going to have Jimmy Murphy out of Milford, a senior. Hasn't been a state qualifier yet, but I got to tell you, Dwayne, I watched him in the semis, and he is a solid, tough, goer type kid. So pretty interested to see. I mean, obviously Zach's in a class probably a little better than him, but I was very impressed with Murphy today.
So was I. I saw Murphy wrestle a couple times this year. I went and watched him wrestle against Loveland, and he's a strong kid. He's really aggressive. You know, if you'd say he's got a heart as big as a football, watch him go at it. But he'll be up against Zach Donathan, and Zach is a 2-time state placer, state runner-up last year, was picked to win it as a sophomore, and unfortunately didn't make weight at the state tournament. And, you know, he's back this year. He's currently ranked number 1 in the state. Depends on which poll you look at. I think Buxman may have him at 1, and then I think Burrow fan has him at 2, he and the Eds kid. But, you know, Zach's something that you don't get to see every day. And I think if you look around the gym, there are 2 Ironman champs in this gym. One of them's coaching at Moeller and Eric Cameron. The other one's on the mat right now, and Zach Donathan. That's really the only 2 Ironman champs I've ever heard of from Southwest Ohio.
Then you got Donathan that's kind of good to see him away from Shy this year because Shy and Donathan been going at it for years. And
Yep.
to see them both in in different brackets now, I think they both have chances at state titles. So it's good to see.
And if you watch, I mean, I've watched Zach wrestle again. He's another kid I've been watching since he was 4 years old.
A lot of times you see that single picked up like that, and the guy bounces out of bounds. Donathan knows where he is. He just rips him back onto the mat where he can score the points and not have to chase him all over the place.
Zach's one of those guys, you watch him in a tournament, his first period against tougher kids is always good but never great. He gets better every period. And he gets better every round. He's one of those guys that cuts weight, and he feels better every hour of the day. He's loading back up, and he's always a beast in the finals.
He's just a very experienced wrestler. I think he wrestles with a little bit better than a high school level type wrestler. He knows where he's at on the mat. He's always seems to be in control.
And he's not, a lot of times you think of these wrestlers as being bulked up and everything. He's not. He's long and lanky, and that doesn't mean he's not strong. It's just that it's that long stretch strength that he has.
So a couple tilts, and he's up 7-0 already.
7-0, just like that.
In the third place match, we have Elijah Perkins of Miamisburg and Gavin Bell of Beaver Creek, and they have Barge of Harrison and Davis of West Carrollton out here going for 5th place.
Look, give Murphy some credit here. He's in the rankings. He's not even in the top 16 kids in the state.
No.
He's picked to maybe make it out as a 4th out of our sectional, but you got to be impressed with just what he has done.
And another shout out to one of the Waycross kids, Daryl Patrick of Coleraine. Daryl was 4th in the sectionals. He defaulted in the first round here at the tournament, and must have affected him because he lost in the consolation wrestlebacks and didn't place in the tournament. But again, congratulations, Daryl. Good season, and we hope that since you're only a sophomore, that means you know what it's like now, so you need to get time to get to work.
That is a nasty half.
Wow.
And there's a pin for Zach Donathan.
They've talked about those long arms.
Wow.
You just see him
Leverage.
right there crawling up in that half.
Leverage. Man.
We'll see how he does next week with Alan Hart and some of the guys like that. So
I'll tell you, Murphy, hopefully he doesn't let that get to him at all because he's wrestling one of the top guys in the nation.
Exactly.
And he never quit. I mean, he chose neutral. He wanted to go at Donathan some more. So good for Murphy, man. If he wrestles like that next week, he'll find himself on the podium.
I'll tell you, I didn't really know who he was coming in, but next week I'll look for him. I was impressed with him, watched him in the semis.
Again, there's a replay brought to you by SWOCA, the Coaches Association.
That's just amazing. So you have a senior in Murphy. He's one of those kids with a lot of wins, 44 wins, finished 2nd in sectionals, comes out in that match, wrestles hard, against, like I said, one of the top guys in the country. And now he's 2 wins away from being a state placer right now.
Watch that. Look at the leverage. Usually you want that, you figure the arm's got to go all the way around the head. He cranks it with a hand on the back of the head. That's unbelievable leverage.
That's the way he's run. He runs that kind of off that tilt series with the one-on-one.
I understand, but
really rakes it under tight.
It's not what you teach fundamentally.
No, that's a different ride. That's a college ride right there.
Interesting here, Dwayne. We're just looking at the refs in front of us. We talked about Zach Shupp walking off the mat and having a team point taken away. And classy kid walks back out and he's shaking the referee's hands.
That's third place on the screen right now.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
Pretty classy.
Brought to you by.
It's hard to control your temper sometimes.
It happens. And as a coach, you hate it when it happens.
This weight class is brought to you by Foster and Motley. If you need financial planning and training, check them out. Dave Foster is the guy to talk to at Foster and Motley. That's the third place match down there between Elijah Perkins of Miamisburg and Gavin Bell of Beaver Creek. Beaver Creek with the orange panel in the singlet.
I'll tell you, there's another kid, Dwayne, that Perkins kid out of Miamisburg gets tough. I mean, he lost to Donathan in the semis. But he's a solid kid.
Bell is leading that match 5-1. That's for third. And it makes a big difference at state if you're third versus fourth, because fourth place finishers in the district end up going against first place finishers in other districts.
That's right.
I think Perkins took third there. Bell was losing 5-1 there. So I think Perkins is another kid that you might see on the podium from the Cincinnati, from the districts here.
Definitely. I mean, you figure you're out there with Donathan, you're out there with Murphy, and you're right in the mix.
Yeah. He wrestled Donathan pretty tough. He had Donathan a little bit winded, and he stayed right in there and kept fighting. So I think he'll have a good week next week. Moving over.
Perkins is the only kid Donathan didn't pin the whole tournament.
Yeah.
It was 9-4, and that's 9-2, and that's for Donathan. That's a close match.
Yeah. We're moving over here now. On your screen, you're seeing Davis of was that West Carrollton against Barge of Harrison. It looks like Barge is up 3-1 here. Again, this is your fifth place match, and just trying to become the alternate for the state tournament. Barge with the arm bar there, put bar on the wrist, and the ref doesn't like the work that Davis is doing on the bottom there, so he hits him with stalling. You'd love to be in that bottom position. The guy's got an arm bar and a wrist, and he's laying on you. You're the one stalling. It's like, I can't even get up. What am I supposed to do here?
All right. 1 point match. 20 seconds to go.
Davis needs a takedown here.
Now these guys are wrestling for a fifth place.
Pop that head out.
That guarantees them nothing but their respect and their own pride.
Wow. What a finish.
I think Barge should have stayed with that leg, don't you, Giant?
Yeah, he should have kept funking with it. Once you let it go, it's over.
Yeah, try to get to his stomach there. He really didn't look like he was in that bad a position.
The coaches worked just as hard in that match as they did as if they were in for the championship.
Yeah, and there's a case of Barge from Harrison, had a great tournament going. He wrestled in the semifinals, lost to Murphy 7-2. Came down, lost in the Conso semis, and just lost again. That's a tough way to finish your year.
Tough way. So where are we headed now? 138?
I think that's right.
Yeah.
I'm figuring you guys know where we are. I don't know where we are.
We just talked about Zach Donathan. Well, he's got a little brother who's only a sophomore right now. 6th place at districts last year, coming in as a sectional champ this year with a 47-4 record. And like you said, Mason doesn't wrestle an easy schedule, so only 4 losses. He's pretty impressive. So who's he got, Dwayne?
He's got Corey Shy, and Corey was the guy who beat Zach last year in the district final. So Corey's a district champ last year. He placed 3rd at state last year and 5th as a freshman. Corey's one of those guys that, like the Donathans, has been on the mat since he could walk. He's been all over. He's a very accomplished wrestler, and I think he's heading to he's one of the academies for college. I think West Point. That's right. He's going to West Point to wrestle in college.
Yeah, he's been solid since he came up. Always in the top 2 or 3 in the state. That's the one. This Donathan, Chris, has got a great duck under series that he runs. So we'll see, Dwayne. I don't know if you know them much, but is he truly a 38-pounder, or could he be at 32 if his brother wasn't there?
Last year they flip-flopped,
Yeah.
I think. But the thing with Chris is he's a different style than Zach. Zach's kind of a leverage guy and kind of funky, and Chris is just a goer. He's got no fear, and last year he'd have been a state placer. He actually had a shoulder injury here at districts and defaulted down to 6th place.
6th place, yep.
Nice far knee block attempt
He'll have his hands full with Shy, though. Shy's a tough kid.
And Shy is very cagey. So he's counting near fall and he hasn't awarded a takedown yet.
So Shy's ranked in a lot of the rankings. He's ranked.
Man, that elbow's going to pop. You got it, potentially dangerous. There we go.
Yeah. Shy's ranked 2nd in the state right now behind.
That was pretty dangerous. That was
so.
pretty dangerous. You were right on that one, Dwayne.
That was
that elbow was
and
bad.
I'll be honest, but I totally disagree with the call there. It should not have been 2. And when they came back to the top, Corey did not have control.
I agree.
I think the ref got excited and counted 2 back points, but then there was no control and then stuck with it.
Yeah, you guys you mentioned that Shy has been credited with a second place evaluation by Buxman and Donathan a 6th, but that none of that means anything when you get out here on these mats right now.
No.
Doesn't mean a thing.
Who can be the toughest mentally by the time you get to stay, like we talked about earlier, losing a match and having to go down and wrestle back? Just who has the guts to want to fight back and make every match count,
For third place in this weight class, we have Justin Taylor of Oak Hills. And Jake Meredith from Elder. And Papalero Erdo of Moeller and Quinn of Lakota West are fighting it out for the alternate position.
Wow. So Shy had the Peterson locked up, and Donathan went with some kind of head and arm using his legs there and rolled through with it.
Yeah, you can tell that Donathan spent a lot of time on the mat.
He's trying to limp arm that whizzer out, and Donathan's keeping it tight.
Jeez,
Now Shy's
now,
that looks like an elbow there for Shy.
Shy got an elbow. I was worried about Donathan's knee, and it was Shy that comes up hurting.
Shy's a tough kid, though. I don't think you'll see him anywhere but in the middle of the mat here in a minute. Right there it is.
Another Swoka replay for you. You can see him the break there at the. The referee was almost in the way there.
A little hyper. He's got a whizzer in, but it's kind of a loose whizzer where it's not.
But Corey tried to limp arm it out.
Yeah.
When he pulled that limp arm, that's when it kind of.
That's when Donathan cranked down on it and got him right on the elbow. Nothing wrong with that. That's just hard, tough wrestling.
Well, and Corey, I mean, he's one of the meanest wrestlers I've ever watched. He is
tough.
He's just a mean guy. He doesn't do anything dirty. He likes to be physical, and Chris Donathan he likes to give it back. So you're seeing 2 guys that are going to swing for the fences the whole match.
This is what I'm seeing right now is just exactly that coming out of the guys that are wrestling here right now that we didn't see last year. I didn't see the same intensity. At least I don't remember it. Maybe it was there, and I'm getting a little fuzzy-minded.
I think what you're seeing at different stages, you're seeing in the finals, you're seeing almost every match guys that are ranked top 6 in the state.
Yep.
With the exception of Murphy so far, all the guys have been ranked top 6, and Murphy's going to finish top 6.
Shy doesn't like to spend much time on the bottom. He's always aggressive from bottom. He doesn't want to be down there. And that's the only mentality you can have.
Wow, what a duck under.
Sweet duck under, but great job by Shy to not give it up just yet. Yes, good reaction by Shy. He's going to go right back to that Peterson where he had it.
This is one of those tough calls.
All
that has to happen is Donathan slide a half in on the near side, and it's 2.
Yeah, get under that right arm.
Yep. And Corey's doing a good job trying to keep him from getting there.
I think you're going to see a stalemate. Donathan's looking at the ref like, are you going to call this?
Chris wants to scissors his legs now and try and get Corey caught in the surfboard, and Corey is not going to let that happen.
That's true. I mean, look where Shy was from that duck under position where he's in terrible shape, and he's going to end up fighting either stalemate or try to. I mean, he was working to the takedown there, so that's a good job by Shy. It's a sweet little duck.
So we got 28 seconds to go here in the second, and Corey's sitting on a 3-0 lead.
Well, that was awful close to being 2.
It was.
I mean, I don't know if I'd have argued with it if they'd have given it to him.
Yeah, go back to that takedown.
The one that wasn't one in the first period, yeah.
We obviously have the slow motion, though, and you can. It's a lot easier to call it on slow motion. Tell you what, Donathan's in here fighting.
Yep.
This weight class is brought to you by Matt and Dominique Mercurio. Matt has served in various tournament operations, and Dominique the same way. He used to be one of our major table worker supervisors in the old days with the Coaches Classic.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a good call by Chris to choose neutral. Corey is real quick that he'll get that, like to tie up for a Merkel. He'll dive on top of the guy and get the head and arm from behind like a Merkel and just ride him.
That's tough, though. Now you need 2 takedowns just to tie it up. I mean, it's a tough call to have to make. But interesting, you saw that at the end of the second period, there were, 2-3 seconds left on the clock, and Donathan made the point to push Shy back to try to maybe get the stalling in the ref's mind there. So
yep,
you can never take a minute break.
And I think what you're seeing out of Chris is, look, he's saying I don't have a minute and a half to let Corey ride me. I've got to get busy. I got to score some points.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with what I know, which is on my feet. And if I lose this match, so what? I can beat him next week at state and still be a state champ, right?
My best.
Yep.
Yep.
Right now, I'm just testing the waters and getting to where I need to be to win a state title next week.
How many times have we seen these finals that end up being, I don't want to lose matches,
right?
You know, and these guys are going after it, smoking after it just at the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I told you about Chris Donathan. He doesn't even think about losing. He's up by 10. He's still going to try and throw you to your back and win it.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm impressed on his feet. I mean, he's wrestling one of the top kids in the country. Shy's in the top 15 in the country, second in the state rankings, and Donathan's probably had four shots almost to finish with the takedown. So,
well, and a big credit to Corey. I think I saw an interview with Corey earlier this year, and he said, one of the things I worked on last year was my offense. I'm going to continue to get better on my feet, and that's a great wrestler, just understanding what. That's really the only dent in his armor would be on his feet, because everywhere else on the mat he is brutal.
He's tough. Well, you just got to love his duck.
What a duck.
So it ends up being a great call by the coach. He's good.
That's stalling on Corey, not letting him go. How do you not call that?
Oh, and so he already had a warning there. So now it's 3-3 just like that.
And then Chris went ahead and kicked him. So now it's 4-3.
So my call that Donathan should have taken down. See how brilliant that is? That's why I'm over here.
So Chris just needs another stalling call here, and he's got it tied up, and he's not going to get it. Corey's going to tie that head up and not let it go.
But he's got to get himself out of bounds. He's only had 10 seconds there. He can't stop right there. So
that's one of the best guys in the country. He's not going to let you out of bounds.
Chris got to take a shot there with no time left.
Yeah.
But, Corey won't touch him. They're smart enough for Corey to say, look, I'm not going to go in there and tie up with you, because I know if you get your hands on me, you're going to hit another duck under. That's impressive. I mean, Corey Shy again, district champ, but Donathan was a pretty impressive match, if you ask me.
He's another one of those guys. He looked better the last 10 seconds than he did the first 10. He got better every second of the match.
No question.
It's not often we find 3 kids from this area listed in the top as number 1 kid in their weight class on a national ranking. And Corey was the last of the 3. There was Lucas Bird, Zach Donathan, and Corey Shy.
Yeah, just go back to Shy real quick. A lot of times adrenaline can get you through a match. Watching him go off the mat, he's really kind of tweaking that elbow. So hopefully next week we won't see any bad effects that elbow's worse than he feels right now,
Yep. So here we are at 145, and I've got Eric Beck from LaSalle. Eric's a senior. He was a state placer last year as a junior. He's finished second at district last year. He's sectional champ this year. He's sitting on a 34-6 record. And I think a couple of those losses are probably back and forth with him and Austin Murphy from Elder. So he's wrestled a tough schedule, and he's a real tough kid.
Well, he's got a tough kid, only a freshman, who's already at 145 to come in as a freshman and make it to district final is pretty impressive. But I understand this kid was a state champ, junior high state champ.
That's right.
Maybe even a 2-time junior high state champ.
I think he was a 2-timer, yeah.
So we got his name's Nevin Snodgrass. He's out of Kettering Fairmont, like you said, only a freshman, coming in at 29-5, sectional champ last year. But it's you always see freshmen at 103, 113 at the lighter weight classes. But when you get a freshman coming in at 145 and doing what he's doing in this tournament, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I watched him wrestle earlier, and he is fearless. I mean, he doesn't care what grade you're in, and I love to see that. I can't stand when some kid says, well, I lost him, but he was a senior. That shouldn't matter, And he doesn't care what grade you're in, what your record was, what you placed last year. He's going to wrestle his match.
Well, he had Murphy in the semis, and Murphy was ranked 6th in some of the rankings. Snodgrass was one below him in 7th, and he beat Murphy 5-3 in a great match. So I was impressed. Certainly not built like a freshman, though. He's obviously very strong, solid kid for his age.
Yep.
I'm not sure. Is this is a question?
We're going to go the last 6 seconds here.
There it is. Never mind. General advertising.
And Tim, just think about what we're watching right now. So at 138, we had Corey Shaw going against a sophomore and Chris Donathan, who just battled and pushed him to the limit.
Absolutely.
And now we're sitting here with another great senior wrestler going against a freshman. I mean, tell me we're not going to see some good wrestling here for the next couple years out of these guys.
No doubt about it.
We've got this weight class is brought to you by General Advertising Products. Actually, the president out there is a good friend of mine, Bruce Howland. Now, he's a basketball player. He played in the European leagues and stuff like that. And yet he comes back and he keeps giving back to high school athletics and supporting high school athletics. And I think that's an important message for a lot of folks out there. If you appreciate what these youngsters are doing, please support your local school teams and give of yourself. You know, they're giving everything they've got. They can always use more help. Every school, any school, can always use more help with people who want to participate and lend a hand to young men, young women in their pursuit of excellence.
And Dave, just because you're a wrestling guy, you can't hold it against the basketball guys.
Well,
I mean, if it wasn't for him, where would we put our wrestling match?
No. Oh, absolutely.
We need those basketball courts.
Did he get cut from the basketball team?
That's
From
That's
the
right.
wrestling team?
Yeah.
He had to try basketball?
Yeah, that's right. Tim, you're right. That's where I used to recruit real heavily, following cuts at the basketball team. Yeah. The
So
guys I could go to a basketball tryout and figure who the wrestlers were going to be. They were the ones that thought the idea was to break the glass.
Yeah, they foul out in the first quarter.
All right, we're still scoreless here. Second period.
Whose choice was it? I missed on choice.
Yeah, I missed who chose neutral there.
So one of the interesting things, one of the rules I really love about wrestling that they put in a few years ago is the injury deal. So we saw the Kettering kid get poked in the eye and he took injury time. Well, the next time he takes injury time, the other wrestler will get choice on position. And I love that. And, you know, as a younger wrestler, it's a mistake I see a lot. You know, a senior would not have called for injury time there because he knows the impact he can have later in the match.
No doubt about it.
Well, you aren't old enough to remember some of the days long time ago when coaches had signals about what to get hurt on because there was no such penalty the second time. If you needed a rest, your ankle got twisted.
I remember the guy started was Marv Levy. He did it against our beloved Bengals and ruined all of football.
That's Sam Weiss' quick offense there, right?
Oh, my
Go
gosh.
down with a bad knee.
Yeah, Sam Weiss comes out as a genius and brings a new offense, and you stop it by getting injured.
Yeah, that's true.
Literally get up from the play, stand up, and then fall back down because your knee hurts.
And then there's the answer to our trivia question for the night is who's the last Bengals coach to win a playoff game, and that was Sam Weiss.
Is that the answer?
What happened to his grandson this year?
Okay.
So it was a nice takedown by the Kettering kid to go up 2-0 here.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Sam's grandson, Sam, wrestles for Moeller, and he blew his knee during football, had knee surgery, and unfortunately missed the wrestling season. You know, Sam was a state qualifier last year, and I think state qualifier his freshman year as well.
It's a pretty nice takedown there by Snodgrass. I mean, he's wrestling a good kid in back.
This weight class is actually brought to you by Cincinnati Functional Fitness. Scott Goodpaster is the guy to talk to over there. They do remarkable things for the development of athletes. Very sport-specific or generalized training and fitness preparation. A good way to spend some off time. I think sometimes we spend too much time with specific sports. I think there needs to be a time just to kind of concentrate on yourself. At least that's my take on it.
I'll tell you, Scott's a good guy. He knows his way around getting wrestlers in shape and getting them strong. He's solid.
Well, and he's worked with a couple decent guys. I think he worked with a kid by the name of David Taylor. Yeah. He worked with The 4-time state champ from Graham that's wrestling for Iowa, Alex Marinelli. He used to come down and train with him, so Scott has done some amazing things with some of these guys.
And just locally, like with Corb from Elder back in the day, yeah, he's a solid wrestling guy.
Pierce Harder.
Yeah, he worked with Pierce, no doubt. All-American from Northwestern.
Senior Sam Meddings took 3rd place down there, I see.
Good for
As
Sam.
We got a little bit of a break in action here.
I love Sam Meddings. He's wrestled my boys. He's got an older brother, Max, who helps, and his dad, Doug's a heck of a guy. Helped with youth for years, and I like to see Sam pull that out. Last year he lost a tough one to Jake Thompson. I think didn't get out. And good for Sam for getting through this year.
Did you guys see what just happened out there? I guess Beck got hurt or something, and Snodgrass went to the line and tried to just give him a little fist pump to say, hey, sorry about that. And Beck said, no, thanks.
Yeah.
And so Snodgrass started talking to him and started laughing at him. So, Snodgrass is not intimidated out there. I'll give him that for a freshman.
Nope.
Boy, he doesn't look like a freshman either. I got to tell you that. The kid does not give the appearance of a freshman, either in body build or technique. Oh, my.
I don't like that call. I mean, come on, he snapped him down hard. He just didn't reshot.
And got hit with stalling. I mean, where does that come from?
And, let's see if Beck shoots here.
Maybe. We apologize. We don't have the graphics up for functional fitness, Cincinnati Functional Fitness. Our graphics generator seemed to have kicked out on us.
And that stall call puts it at 2-2. I know the score's not on the match. We're 2-2 right now with 40 seconds left.
I just didn't see that. I'm sorry.
No, that was not the right call. He didn't have a chance to reshoot there. Beck was still on all fours. He snapped him down hard and circled.
But at least it didn't put Snodgrass behind. Still, takedown's going to win it. So
the thing I don't like about it, I think on a coaching spot, Tim, is now you got a freshman kid here who feels like he's got a stall against him, and now he's got to maybe take a chance, because another stall and he loses the match.
Yeah, exactly.
Snodgrass seemed to be in control. He just took a
This
look
is
at
the
clock.
This is the 145-pound
So
division.
7 seconds left here, so we may be heading to overtime. So Snodgrass doesn't need to force it here.
Doesn't need to force it. Oh, my goodness.
And that's the right call. That was the right call.
He's been backing up for quite a while.
Yep.
So we go overtime. This first period is 1 minute long unless somebody scores.
Oh, great shot by Beck there.
Oh, Snodgrass funking around.
Oh, boy.
Nice.
Oh, boy.
And there's the match. He's going to get the pin. Oh, he let it go.
All right. A freshman comes in here, walks in here, and comes out with the title at 145 pounds.
Wow.
Here at Kettering
Freshman
Fairmont.
district champ.
That's nice, exciting wrestling there.
He brought his own crowd with him. Hometown favorite.
That's awesome.
Yep. Well, he's solid.
And there's the freshman, too. He forgot he could still get the pin in overtime.
Yeah, he doesn't need that. So he's coming out ranked 7th and already beat Murphy and now beat Beck. So, wow. Just have to watch him next week, Dwayne. That's impressive.
That's going to be exciting.
Wow.
So we're sitting at 152. And, Tim, I've got Connor Craig of Elder. Connor's a senior. Qualified for state. It looks like his sophomore year. Last year he was injured, had some knee problems. Connor's currently sitting at 43-5, and Connor's already committed to Wheeling Jesuit. And I was talking to him earlier. I think he's going to be a 174-pounder for Coach Doyle, and Jesuit is rolling right now. They're going to be a top 10 team in the country, I think, in Division II, and Connor's going to be a heck of an addition to that program.
I'll tell you, Craig's tough. He's a good kid. He's got a kid named Jordan Hardrick out of Wayne, who I watched that semis match against Connor Yoss from St. X, and he got the takedown in the last second or escape. I forget how it was, but yeah, Yoss gave him all he could handle, but Hardwick got the win. So he's been 3rd at sectional, 2nd at sectionals, and 1st at sectionals. So he's been improving as he goes along, but he's never made it to state yet. So we'll see how he does.
Connor's a tough kid. I had Connor wrestle for me for several years, and he was always one of those guys. He was always tall and skinny, and he'd start the season out in one weight class, and by the time the end of the season came along, he could barely make that weight. He was always trying to find his way, and you can see now he's starting to fill out. and he is an animal on the mat. And his style was just go, go, go the whole time. Of course, that's the style most of the guys Jason Roush coaches.
Sure.
The third place match down the way is Hunter Purdue of LaSalle and Connor Yas of St. Xavier. And in the alternate match, Berger of Fairmont and Weichers of Centerville. And that match is over by default, and I don't know who won. So you can read about it in the headlines tomorrow. Check out, if you're looking for the full results of the brackets and you don't have them there at home, go check baumspage.com.
So now that I'm feeling kind of old because I went to school with Connor's mom, and I coached Hunter Purdue's dad at Reading when I was coaching there. So nice Reading contingent. There's one at the table and two on the mat.
You know, you're actually beginning to age a little bit there, Dwayne.
I highlighted my beard silver just to make you guys
feel
better.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Southwest Ohio Wrestling Coaches Association, the voice of wrestling in the state of Ohio, in southwestern Ohio. The guys that put their energy and time and everything into this sport on behalf of the youngsters.
All right, we'll end the first period with no takedowns, no score, tied at 0. We're going to have, looks like Dayton Wayne's choice. He's going to go ahead and choose down, doesn't defer.
See if you can find team score.
If we go on the Bombs page here, and we're not getting any real updates on the score here, but Bombs page does keep them up pretty well. So
Tim's our technology expert.
we're going to go on here and see if we can get some updated team scores.
He's got the 6+ so we can all read his screen.
Is that what it is?
Your eyes
That's
get
because
bad
his
enough,
eyes are
trust
getting
me.
worse.
Not because I like big phones. It's
All right,
just
so
'cause,
0-0 in the second. Carter chooses down.
all right, no update yet on Bombs page on the score. Still the scores we started last time.
That's been something that's kind of strange here this year. Team score has not been posted anywhere.
Yeah, it used to come up on the boards on the end. Just
Yeah,
scrolling. Not this year.
Not this
Yeah,
year.
they've got some nice boards.
They've
here
got
that
the boards.
Usually
yeah.
they use them. I don't.
You think they'd use them?
They need you to become their technology expert, Tim.
I'll tell you what, I love coming here for wrestling, though. This arena
I do
is
too.
just super.
Love it.
Harrison is so nice. We do Swoka. Their arena is very similar. And
Right.
I just think these things are just perfect for wrestling. The fans get a chance to sit almost mat side. I mean, the stands come all the way down. You're right on the floor.
Yeah,
Well-
have to get in your way. I agree.
I'd like to see the full internet production of things today. We have the program down at the Coaches Classic is good, but I really like the track wrestling.
Oh, it's awesome.
production.
Track and flow.
You could just find everything in there. We could sit here and do nothing but read what it says and
No
have
doubt
it.
about it.
Well, Connor's riding tough here. I mean, he's really giving a lot of forward pressure. He's doing a nice job.
Yeah, he's got a minute now that he's rode him out. So
Oh, come on.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good
Kinda
question,
like
Connor.
stalling
That's
on me?
interesting.
Really? Did you say that?
He's out the side running cross faces. The bottom man is yet to come to his feet.
Yeah. And it hasn't been because he's been picking his ankle out of it. He's riding him. He's got a heavy ride on him.
That's the big confusion a lot of fans have. So they're screaming return to the mat. As long as you're attempting to return the guy to the mat, it's not stalling. I mean, Connor's lifting, fighting.
Yep, you don't have to return him. You just have to attempt to return him.
And Connor's running that tilt. He's working hard, getting the cross wrist, running the bar. He's doing all the right things a top guy needs to be doing.
And yet he's got to be worried now that he's going to get hit with
Because he got
stalling
that
again.
daggone warning. Yep.
because he really didn't even understand why he got hit with it in the first place.
Well, next year it'll be the guy on the bottom getting hit for stalling, because you're in college, if you're not getting to your feet, you're stalling.
I think Wayne coach is trying
Yeah, one
to,
of the things that happens is sometimes that, depending on how your season goes and where you wrestle, your interpretation of rides and tilts and turns and stuff is different. And I think that that's part of what Hardwick's coaches are having trouble with now, is that they're,
well, even
Craig
you know,
is
we
Craig is
even
really dominant in the top position.
And Jordan does a nice job on the whistle getting to his feet.
Well, even we struggle with the different interpretations. I mean, we get a stalling here on Craig, and what was the match where the kid kept his head down, the Schuster?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that's a stalling. That should have been at least a warning in there, and far more so than what Craig's been doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite anybody. So the battle through here, getting the third period.
Yeah, he's probably able to choose down. So
I remember as a coach going crazy with top guys that rode my guys so hard. But, they were doing the right thing, and my guy wasn't. You got to have the answer to the ride. If you don't, you lose. It's a pretty straightforward sport.
Yep.
No time left. It was great job by Craig here.
Yep.
Got 2-minute ride and only
Great
one warning
float.
out of him. So
Great
I think he'll
float.
choose down here, so he gets the point, and I wonder if Hardwick will just let him go right off the whistle.
He's really frustrated too.
See what the coach decides. I mean, Hardwick's got it. If he doesn't kick him now, he's got to ride him for 2 minutes, and I just don't think that's going to be very easy to do.
Maybe he was a great top guy going to turn him. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who he is. I've never seen him wrestle, so but I did watch him in the semis there with Yas, and I got to think they're probably not going to ride him too long.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we don't get to see Wayne. Actually, I heard the Wayne coach talking earlier. He wants to try and come down to Swoka.
Well, they used to be solid. When Silvers was coaching them, they were solid.
Yep.
So I think this is just the way you thought it would play out. Hardwick's going to try to get if you let him up, he's going to try to get the takedown here. So
Connors will be careful, too. He's already been warned for stalling, so he's got to stay aggressive. If he backs up at all, he could put himself in a bad way. All right, he cautioned green. I'm not sure what the caution was for there. All right, so Craig's backing him up now, which is good. Craig's got the stall warning.
we're getting a different view because all the Wayne guys are sitting right behind us and giving their opinion.
Right. Well, so being a fan, you see your guy.
That was a quick stalemate. I thought Craig was in good shape to pull, spin behind.
The ankle there.
Yep.
And
Yep.
nice. A great catch by Craig. A good shot by Hardwick, but had his elbows out a little bit, and Craig got under him.
Yeah, the only thing, Craig's in a little too deep with his elbows, so Hardwick's in great shape with controlling the elbow. But Craig's got so long, he just keeps those feet way back.
Yeah, he is long, isn't he? There he is on that ankle again. That's
There
where
he's
he
spinning
needs to
behind.
be. Good job by Hardwick, though.
Now,
He gives him the two.
good call.
Covered the whole thing.
He was on his butt, and he had legs, hands around the knees, above the knees there. I think that's two. I agree. All right, so it's not over, though. I mean, Hardwick can get the one and then get two to tie it up and go overtime. So I think he needs to score quickly here and get the 1 point. Good job by Craig. Gets the arm
Staying
bar in.
aggressive. I love it.
Craig is displaying the kind of talent that wins a lot of matches in Columbus.
Yep. And he's hungry.
He does
last year he should have been a state placer, and he had that knee injury and kept him out. So I'm happy to see him back this year.
You know, he shows that he knows what's going on out there. he isn't making mistakes. He lets the other guy make some mistakes, and he capitalizes.
You got to be kidding me.
Whoa.
How do you get called for stalling running an arm bar?
How is that?
Well, he had his fist balled up like he was going to come for stalling for about 5 or 6 seconds. So
running an arm bar on call stalling.
That's interesting because, well, I'm not going to say it.
Yep, not worth it, is it?
Yeah. I do know that he's probably not the guy you want to mess with. He was one tough kid on the mat that shook your kid out there.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, he was.
Him and the Steiner boys from Mateo, they were solid.
That was a great job by Craig to keep his composure.
That's excellent.
He wrestled good, solid match there.
That's exactly what you need to be successful in Columbus.
Comes out as a #1, and hey, now we get to go to 160, which is probably, except for maybe Bardenshep, this is probably the match I've been looking for, you know?
Now, all you Waycross fans, this is what you've been waiting for.
Your Winton Woods boy. We got Cornell Beecham out of Winton Woods coming in at 45-3. And I think one of the losses here was the Tyreek Evans, so this is a bit of a rematch. But I tell you what, he was a state qualifier last year, and I watched him. I've watched him more than a few times this year. He is a tough kid. So.
And I got Tyreek Evans out of Elder. Tyreek's a junior. He's currently sitting at 38-3. He's a 2-time state qualifier, and of course, you remember the great Orlando Scales out of Elder. He's I guess the nephew of Orlando is how that works, or the cousin. Not sure what the relationship is there.
Yeah.
And then of course, old our favorite Scales fella from Coleraine, T-Gray, who's going to stick around for another year at IU and hopefully get a high draft pick out of the NFL next year.
Good, isn't he?
He's something else, man.
He sure had a good season this year. He really played well.
He's a nice kid too.
Oh, top-notch kid.
But back to these two guys. These are two just crazy athletes.
You can tell a lot about a kid that when he takes concern about little old ladies. He has become one of my wife's best friends, and she's really upset that he isn't here so she can get her good wishes to him. But anyway, yeah. In the third place match down here with Trey Sizemore of LaSalle and Jack Stein of Mason. This is a tough weight class, too.
It was.
And Sizemore's beaten Evans earlier this year. So
you got McIntosh and Traub both stayed home.
That's unbelievable.
One of them, unless something happens, they're fighting it out for.
Actually, they're not wrestling. So
no, they're not
defaulted,
wrestling. Somebody said no.
I think Traub had some injuries throughout the year and of late. So
he got dinged a little bit in that consolation semifinal. They had to take some injury time on him.
Yeah, today's the first time I've seen Beecham wrestle since last year, and he is just a machine.
You talk about quick.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid is quick.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. He's freestyle. He just has to be a beast.
Look at the thighs on him. He's so solid. Lower body. I think if my facts are right, I think Beecham beat Evans in like a preseason type thing, but I think Evans won the match that they wrestled this year.
Ooh, got away with it.
Wow.
Oh, that's a quick 2. That's 3. That's locking hands plus
3-0.
reversal.
No.
No, he's all right. It's going to be 3-1 right here.
Make it 3-1. I don't know why we're stopping here.
It should be 3-0.
Should be. Well, no,
should be.
Didn't they go to their feet?
No, he reversed.
Should be locking
him,
hands and reversal.
So right there is 2-0 reversal.
Oh, no.
And locking hands is 3-0, and right now it should be 3-1, right?
You got to get the reversal.
Yeah, and then he gave him the push him away.
You don't stop the match for
Two reversal.
Hands. Exactly.
I don't understand why the ref stopped the match.
I don't either.
I don't either.
And I thought he stopped.
We've got a replay here.
Right there.
There's a reversal.
Called locking hands. There's a reversal.
And the locked hands.
And right there, they kept wrestling right there, so I thought he.
And that's one. That should be 3-1.
All right, well, back to the match. Here's an escape now for Evans.
2-0.
It's 2-1 now.
2-1.
He just went ahead and kicked Evans.
How's it not 3 when he had a reversal and a locking hands?
He waved off the locking hands.
They waved off the locking hands. Well, maybe they figured after they saw it that he was actually not on the mat, but on his feet. I don't think so.
He either locked hands or he didn't. If he made the call, then it's locking hands. I think it should be 3-1. But
Steve Burke from Cincinnati Sub-Zero is the sponsor of this weight class. Now we got a warning. Oh, my. This is getting...
They've been on their feet for 20 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know why you need to be in the match right there.
I don't understand that.
Neither guy was doing anything. I don't see that.
Yeah, and that's what's unfortunate. Now you see Tyreek try a sloppy head and arm because he just got hit for stalling. And let these guys wrestle,
And Elder's coach is trying to make the point. How can you call that? Wow.
They're both right in the center of the mat. I don't know where you're getting that stalling from. So.
This is a 160-pound weight class.
Now this is as slow as I've seen these two wrestlers wrestle all day.
Now we've got a warning.
For green.
So now Tyreek hits a Russian, and there's not much Beecher can do. But
you got to get head position.
And he gets called for stalling in the middle of just being stuck in a Russian. If that's the case, just go back to it and take 4 stalling calls and win the match. All right, we'll go 2-1, start of the third.
So Evans going to choose down here.
Evans will be down, so if he can get to 1, we'll be tied up here. So I don't think Beecham's a big top guy, so I wouldn't be surprised to see.
He'll put him up pretty quick.
Yeah, Evans should get up pretty quick here.
Give a shout out to Jason Dean, the head coach over at Winton Woods. He's done a really nice job of pulling the Warriors up and into becoming a really significant team in the Division I here in Southwest Ohio. Nice shot.
Oh, I think Beecham might have been able to.
Yeah, he should have finished that one, shouldn't he?
Yeah, go ahead and not just in and out. He had a shot there. He got in deep. Oh, trying to shot off forehead to forehead. He's trying to take a
He's
shot.
in tight there.
Oh,
he should have stayed with it.
Yeah, you need to keep going forward.
Yeah,
can't back up.
Changed levels and kept going.
Yeah.
Kind of panicked. He got worried about the throw coming.
Yep. You got to just change the angle a little bit, and change the level a little bit more, but keep going.
Beecham's only a junior, same as Evans, huh? He's got to be back out again next year.
That's incredible, isn't it? They're both solid.
Nice shot there. Evans going to. Tyreek staying with it. Almost got to 5 and then got nothing.
That's what we were saying before. You got to stay with it.
Evans can't give up here, though. He's got plenty of time on the clock.
Now Beecham just needs to keep plowing forward right now. He's got Evans' head on the mat.
Yeah, Evans kind of put his head down there. He's got plenty of time here to get 1 and then 2 to win it.
Come on.
Oh, no.
Come on. That wasn't 5 seconds.
How could that be?
Now he's got to kick him and he's going to tie it up. That wasn't 5 seconds on the feet.
I got to tell you, I never as a coach wanted my kids to think that the outcome of the match is determined by the referee. So that's true here for Beecham too.
Beecham's problem here now is he can't do this. He's got to go ahead and give him the.
He could have kicked him and been up 4-3.
4-4 now.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And Beecham's got both takedowns in this match, so that's.
And the guy waved off the locking hands. It should have been Beecham.
So Beecham ends up with 2 takedowns in the match.
That's not where you want to be with Tyreek.
Nope. That's a good idea.
Not with Tyreek. You want to stay singles and doubles. Tyreek's a thrower.
It's a good match. Just what we had hoped for.
I actually was hoping that the assistant referee would step in and actually.
Well, he has to ask.
Something.
Yeah,
so that's the fault of the coach. I mean, you got to get up and ask for it. But stalling call, you're not allowed to argue. I think it's
I don't think
automatic.
Changed.
Right.
And Roush already got warned. So if he gets up and asks a question now, he's going to lose a team point.
If he gets up, Merck will win.
He's in tight.
Great job by Evans to fight that off.
Oh.
Wow, what a great match. I'll tell you what, we got to see how both those do.
Boy,
but they both have a shot at going pretty far.
That's a great match by Tyreek, but it's very unfortunate, I think, that the ref put that in a situation shouldn't have been in.
He had both takedowns in the match. I don't know. Took the locking hand. I mean, if you saw the locking hand, why did he make the call in the first place?
And I thought none of the stalling calls on either wrestler were valid.
But at the same time, Evans went in and got the takedown when it mattered. So you can't take
that's
away
right.
from him.
Of course, that was
a great win by Tyreek.
That takedown was off Cornell's effort too. He was the initiator, but a great counter, a great match. So, and like you said earlier, Dwayne, these are both juniors.
Yep.
So we're going to see them again. I can almost guarantee it. So.
All right, so we're sitting at 170. I have Andrew Sams from Fairfield, also known as Rocky.
Known as what?
Rocky. That was his nickname as a kid.
Okay.
So he's 34-2 right now. He was a state placer as a freshman, state placer as a junior, state qualifier as a sophomore. He's a 4-time sectional champ, 2-time district champ, going for district championship number 3 right here.
And he's looked good this weekend too. I mean, he's solid. So he's going to have Charles Sanders and now another junior out of Elder. He's had a great year coming in at 36-12. This Sam's kid is special. He's solid. So we'll see how Charles can do.
So every time I see Sam's, I laugh. And I took a team to Indianapolis to wrestle in some national tournament and Andrew went with us. He's just a little kid at the time. There's a nice turn by Andrew Sams. Well, that's tight. He elevates his foot with that
tight.
Turk a little bit, toe to the ceiling. He'll get the fall here.
Let's see him ride this out for a minute.
How is that Elder? I mean, actually, Rocky needs to let that foot go and let the leg pop out. He can get the fall. I think it's hard for the guy to bring his shoulder down when he's going to touch his ankle if he does. He needs to let that go. So it puts him up 5-0 pretty quick.
Still got the Turk, though. I'm surprised they gave him 3.
Yeah, when he started the Turk on the knee. Well, I guess it's like riding the legs, right? You can let the top half go. It's one of those calls always baffles me. You get a cross wrist tilt, and they won't give you the points to let the cross wrist go. But you put the legs in and run 4 different moves, they give you points with the legs in the whole time.
Sanders comes in here as a 3rd place finisher in the Hamilton sectional, and here he is, finds himself in the championship bout. He did a heck of a job fighting off his back there.
Yes, he did. Anyway, the story I was telling for us, I take Sam's with us on this trip out to Indianapolis for this national tournament, and I borrowed a friend of yours' limo, Tim, old Todd Riley, because we needed a bus. I couldn't get one, so he gave me his limo set 12, so I took all these kids out there. And in the back seat, little Andrew Sams is singing, "I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world." And he had his voice so high. To this day, every time my boys see him, they laugh about that trip. And now you see him out there, he looks like an Adonis. I mean, what a difference.
I mean, he's so solid. He looked so smooth today in the semis. With a tech fall in the semis against Shirley Harrison. And like I said, he's had a couple brothers that were great, right? And,
yeah. I mean, as Austin wrestled at UT Chattanooga. And Adam's actually coaching with him.
Yeah.
He's over in the corner today. Adam Sams, couple times state placer.
But Sams is ranked like 4th in the state, and Baker out of LaSalle is ranked 5th. But Sanders upset Baker in the semis 5-4. So Charles Sanders having a great tournament. But see that just right there. That's a reshot off of that bad shot is just so low single there. So sweet.
Andrew looks great. He's a heck of a baseball player too. Andrew's a good athlete. I enjoy seeing a guy like the Sams out there as well. I mean, his dad, Steve, ran the youth program at Fairfield and gave back a ton. And it's nice to see those guys that work so hard with everyone's kids, see their kids do so well. We mentioned the Meddings boy earlier from Fairfield, and here Sam's doing the same thing. So, yeah, they've done a great job with that youth program, and it's paid off for them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Sam's in the semis. And once you get there, then you've got some solid kids ahead of him that will just be good matches. But
that's stalling right there on green. You can't let that risk go. That's a good call on the stall call.
A little stud cradle. Trying to get the ankle up into the hip.
Near cradle needs to get the head posted.
Yeah, Coach, I think we've talked about that before. I'm just not a fan of that stud cradle. You had the near cradle locked up tight. You're trying to get that.
Yeah.
Just step out the side, put your head in the side, tripod finish, and get some points on the board. I like the KISS program.
Keep it simple.
Yep.
And Sam's is pretty much just in total control here. Keeping him right on the edge of the mat, let the clock keep running. It's fun to watch someone that has such great mat awareness, knows exactly where they are, what they're doing at every second of the match. Just years of experience.
So into the second here, we're up 9-2, and looking here, it looks like Sam's going to Bellarmine next year, and I think Bellarmine is going to be Southwest Ohio Wrestling. There are, I think Brett Bryant's heading to Bellarmine, Gage Branson's over at Bellarmine now. Saw a couple other guys here local all heading to Bellarmine. They just started the program up, so I think you're going to see some really good
down
wrestling.
Louisville?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's another program locally, and that's over at is it Thomas More? Yeah,
Yep.
Thomas More started their program, and that's good for the area. I don't know. I haven't been in touch with anybody who can tell me how their recruiting is going, and but it'll be interesting because you certainly got a lot of people to choose from in this area, and not a lot of pressure on the area from a recruiting
The tough
standpoint.
part, though, is they're D3, so they can't give any money
Oh,
for
yeah,
wrestling.
I understand that. Yeah.
That's what's going to hurt them. And I think
Ah,
Bellarmine's
sweet.
Nice
D2 or NAIA. I can't remember which they are.
Nice, Doc.
There's actually a lot of opportunities for the kids to wrestle nearby now. Over in Indianapolis, you have University of Indianapolis. One of the Mason kids is over there wrestling right now. They've got a great program. They're D2 and they're ranked top 10 in the country. And at Marion University in Indianapolis just started a program. They're NAIA. And they've got a great team, great coaching staff. So a lot of places within 2 hours, these kids can go wrestle now and get an education and do what they love to do.
Yeah, Dan Starkey, who many of you would know, he went to University of Indianapolis and wrestled there.
Where did he
Played
coach?
football.
Roger
He was
Bacon.
Roger Bacon.
Bacon. Yeah, I remember he coached
Yeah.
when I was in high school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you keep pointing out how old you are or young you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
And
Starkey.
he was wrestling when I was starting teaching too. So
He was a great coach. He was a tough coach.
I
liked him
and
a lot.
a wonderful human being.
And Roger Bacon was just a great program back then, the early 80s.
I tried
him
real
rolling.
hard. I tried really hard to get him to come and pick up the program when I retired, but he was devoted to Roger Bacon, and he was football coach there. At
Adam
the time
Sams
too,
with a
so-
15-5 win, and it was a dominant 15-5.
Yeah, it was.
test.
That,
he looked
well,
solid,
that
didn't
was the most dominant. I think that was the most dominant performance.
Maybe I'll see if I can get him to come over here and sing I'm a Barbie Girl for us again.
No, I hope not.
Hey, Rocky. Hey, Rocky. Rocky.
Uh-oh.
Will you
Now
sing
we're in
Barbie
trouble.
Girl for us? We're on TV. Will you sing I'm a Barbie Girl in a Barbie World for us?
Now you've
that was
done it.
pretty
Now you've
emphatic.
embarrassed him.
All right, let's do 182. I got Jake Thompson out of Moeller being coached by Jermaine Lindsay. Comes in as a two-time state qualifier, only a junior. 36-3 right now. First at sectionals. He's a district champ, returning district champ. So solid kid here.
He's going against Blake Wilson out of LaSalle. Blake's a junior. He's 34 and I think it was 8 or 13 right now. And a lot of his losses are to Jake. And these guys have
Last
been.
week.
I love both these
Sectionals.
families. They both wrestled us at Kids Club, Tim. I think you remember those days. And Wyatt, Blake's
Wyatt,
brother Wyatt was
yeah.
a Moeller wrestler.
Is he still wrestling at IU? Or?
Yeah, he's still on the
Yeah.
team at IU. Yep. And Jake, this is actually Jake's third trip to the district finals as a junior. So he lost his freshman year, and I think he actually, I can't remember who he lost to, a really tough kid. And then
But
today he beat Kimbrell
he's
from
180.
Fairmont
He's 182 and
from
gosh,
38 last year.
Yeah, I mean, and what was he as a freshman?
Freshman year, I think he was 26
I
or
mean,
20. You know, it's funny. I talked to Jake and his dad last year. He's like, "What should I do different?" I said, "You should focus on football. Go hit the weight room for a while. You're 6 foot tall, you know, and enjoy life." And
Yeah.
well, he's having a great season at 182.
He is.
And Blake Wilson is really tough. And totally different body type, totally different styles here. You know, Blake is very fundamentally sound, good square stance, nice aggressive wrestler, and you know, Jake is one of those guys that's just hard to score on.
Yeah, Jake's had a nice career so far.
Third place match in this weight is Mark Kimball of Fairmont, right here at home, and his opponent from Oak Hills is Dick Goldfuss. Weathersby of Elder and Harris of Lakota West are going at it down here for the alternate.
You know, and what
Alternate.
everybody's talking about the
position.
other weight classes. This weight class is stacked. I mean, Kimball from Fairmont, he's a state placer as a sophomore. Here he is as a senior wrestling for third place.
Wrestling
He
for
loses
third.
to Thompson. Goldfuss from Oak Hills had the unfortunate event of catching a couple studs last year. He's a state qualifier and state placer.
Yeah.
You know, and then you have Thompson and Wilson. This was the finals at SWOCA. This was the finals at CIT. You know, it's
Finals at sectionals.
Finals at sectionals. And this is I'm telling you, I think you'll see several guys on the podium out of this weight class next week.
And it's funny, the more you wrestle somebody, the closer it gets, you know. Once you learn each other, it's hard to score on each other.
Yep.
Yeah, all four of these guys were identified by Buxman as being in the top 16 in the state.
Yeah, we got
At this
Thompson
weight.
at 6, Kimbrough at 8, and Wilson at 9, and then Fuss is at 10. So we got 4 of the top 10 kids in the state right here in our district.
This match at 182 pounds is coming to you via the courtesy of Dr. Steve Daly of UC Health. Dr. Daly has been, well, he's a wrestler at Northwest, and he has been as loyal a doctor as we've had in the area ever. He gives of himself all the time, and not enough can be said for those doctors that devote themselves to kids in athletics. So thanks, Doc.
That's a nice high crotch by Wilson there. Good whizzer counter.
Jake is tough. My boy Dean was home last couple weeks. He's been out drilling with Jake, and you know, Dean takes down everybody pretty easy, and Jake just gives him fits. I said, Dad, I'll be in so tight on him, and he just somehow he can get out of it. You know, he understands how to use that leverage.
Yeah, they are different body types, aren't they?
Oh yeah, and Blake's dad actually wrestled at IU. So you remember Jude Scove, right, Tim?
I do.
NCAA champ
Great
for
guy.
Ohio State. Yep. Helped coach at Bowler for a while. He actually wrestled Blake's dad at the Big Tens in
Is that
college.
right?
Yeah. And then Webb Wilson, who's Blake's dad, actually coached with us at ECCW for a while. He's a super guy. Ball of energy. is the
Boy,
best
that's
way to
that's a hard guy to throw. When you're that much shorter, get
How
in
about
there
that?
and try and throw.
Now, wasn't Jake in on a single when he just got warned for stalling there?
Yeah.
Did not see it.
Yeah, got the stall warning. I thought Jake had a single leg down.
Did you go to sectionals last week? What was the score of this match? Do you remember?
Actually, I think he won it 3-1. And then to CIT,
one
Blake beat
takedown.
him by 8, I think. It was a big match in CIT.
That's why I say the more you wrestle somebody, the harder it gets to score on it, and the closer the matches seem to
I
come.
think Jake turned him actually is how he got the points. I think he was on top and turned him.
Yeah, Jake's a good top wrestler. So we'll see, though. You know, that puts, if that's the case, and Wilson's been turned by him, so now Wilson's got that tough call as to, does he take bottom in a 1-0 match, or does he stay on his feet and try to get the takedown?
He's got the stall warning in his favor.
He does.
But he's losing by 1. I think he's got to choose down.
I tend to agree with you. But I think last time I said that with Donovan or whoever it was against Shy, or turned out wrong on that one. So he chose neutral. He's down by a point.
Down. No,
Yet
he's choosing down.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he put his hands up.
No. That's the right call here.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, Jake's got to be careful with that stall warning. If Blake gets to his feet, he's got 5 seconds to.
See, that's an attempt. That's all it takes.
Another attempt.
Then he gets 5 more seconds.
All right. Good job by Jake.
This is going to be decided on their feet.
And that gives the advantage to Blake Wilson, in my opinion.
But Jake can't go out of bounds. Like, he just kind of backed out there. I mean, I know Blake maybe pushed him out a little, but you just got to circle back in when you're on the edge like that.
You don't want to give it, don't give him an opportunity to make that call.
Oh, nice reshot by both of them there, really.
What a sprawl by Blake Wilson on that reshot. Wow. At 182 pounds, bouncing around like that is impressive.
Yeah, the upper weights have gotten so much better in terms of how they wrestle. It's amazing to me. Wilson wants that bear hug.
Got the body
way,
lock.
Nice whizzer by Jake to counter all that.
Jake looked very calm there.
That whizzer of Thompson's comes from right field also. Boy, that sucker comes in there.
Well, when you're 6'2" and you swing sideways. So we got a minute to go here in the third period, all tied up at 1-1.
It's going to be a one takedown match. Whoever gets it's going to win it.
Yeah, Jake's going to have to shoot here to keep from getting a stall call, I think.
I tend to agree with this. Helps right there to go in and get the underhook and fight for the body lock there. So, but you're right. I mean, he's got the warning against him.
Yeah, he's got to attack a little bit here. Yeah, that's just trying to.
A good shot by Wilson, but this is where Thompson wants to be. He's got to try to get a better angle on it. Elbow's too deep there.
So Jake did a nice job there, kind of turning the pressure around.
Yeah, I agree.
So Blake's backing up a lot here. We'll see if he evens up the call in the stall.
Got 24
I
seconds.
just like to see him make no
period.
call here and just let him wrestle.
That'd be my preference. Yeah, no more calls. Let the takedown win it, or let's go to overtime.
Good job snapping the head down. Down to the last 5, 6 seconds.
6 seconds, yep.
I think we'll see overtime here. I think you'll see either of them take a crazy shot right now.
Well, these are two guys too. That at Golden Cross they've drilled together for the last 10 years. They've been on the same teams together at Moeller. Now these guys have practiced together, wrestled together. The families get along well.
That's good to see.
It is. It's what you love and hate about wrestling, right?
Nice to see people act with class. Wilson getting a little aggressive here, taking a couple shots.
Wow, nice job by Jake on the reshot. Jake's trying to tree top it.
He's going to get it.
And he got it. What a great match.
Good match by both of them right there.
So Jake Thompson, junior, 2-time district champ for Moeller. I'd like to see these guys get it done next week, see both of them on that podium.
I agree. What kind of rankings do they have? Thompson about 6, Wilson 9.
Yeah. Wilson's better than 9, I think.
Yeah.
Kimbrell's up there too. Kimbrell's tough.
8. Here we go, 195. I'm going to have Joe Cochran out of Springfield. He's 38-13 as a freshman, 40-5 as a sophomore, and 37-3 coming in right now. So started wrestling when he was 5 years old.
I've got Brett Bryant out of Moeller. Brett's 33-4. Brett was a state placer as a sophomore, finishing 6th, state qualifier last year. And he won his sectional this year, and one of Brett's 4 losses are actually to Cochran at the SWOCA. So he lost to Cochran at the Coaches Classic earlier this year.
We got him ranked like 5th or 6th for Bryant and 5th for Cochran. So they're both worthy of the podium next week.
A little bit different styles. Brett's a big move guy. He likes to go feet to back, and on top he likes to throw those boots in, just try and crank you.
Okay, bringing you the 85, 190,
95.
195 pound. Oh, can't read the print. 195-pound weight class, general advertising products. Here's where the basketball player comes in. Bruce Howland over at General Advertising Product. Thanks, Bruce. If you ever need 3 guys that know nothing about basketball to cover a basketball game, you know who to call. We can score takedowns during a basketball game.
All right, we're down to the last 20 seconds. Not much action here. Both trying to feel each other out, I think. But like you said, Dwayne, I think Brent's going to want to go on the, see how he does on top. He's a good top wrestler, so
yep,
he'll get his chance there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if Cochran will choose down on him.
That's a good point.
I remember last year, Brett lost to Kimbrell in the quarterfinals, and the same deal, 0-0, so Kimbrell wouldn't take down. And it kind of took Brett out of his game a little bit, and then Brett came back and beat Kimbrell in the go-to match to go to state later in the tournament.
Cameron Sauerwein of Harrison and Garrett Bledsoe of LaSalle are battling for 3rd place, and over on the alternate bout, we have Wigland of Mason and Campbell of Miamitown.
So we got Bryant with the escape now, up 1-0. You know, Coach just mentioned Sauerwein from Harrison. I like watching that kid wrestle. I think he's a junior. I'm not sure. I didn't check the stats, but he's one of those kids. He's another one just doesn't give up. He is tough. He is a junior, 35-7.
Yep.
And I've seen him in some battles. He'll be down by 9 points, and next thing you know, he's down by 4, and he'll lose by 3. And yeah, that's what you'd like to see out of a wrestler. You know, you getting better as the match goes and getting better as the year goes on. He's going to make his trip to the state tournament here. Dino.
All right, 1 minute gone, and again on their feet.
Yeah, Brett's wrestling very tentative on his feet right now.
There's a good shot by Cochran. It's kind of the one and only shot. That's a nice reshot there by Bryant, but he's in trouble now because if he touches his hands, it's going to be
Cochran
2.
needs to keep him in the middle of the mat.
Well, that could be fleeing.
Yep, it's got to be. It's the right call.
I kind of agree with it too.
That's right.
It's the right
Fleeing,
call. And if he didn't flee, it was going to be 2.
call.
I mean, it's, you know. Yeah, it's going to be points either way.
Yeah, I agree.
And I mean, I understand where Coach Lindsay's coming from. Yeah, so you see here, Brett's on his feet.
Now in the middle of the mat right now, and then, you know, Brett doesn't go to the
right here he
bounds,
does.
but right here he does, you know.
If he doesn't get out of bounds, it's 2. You know,
agree.
so
He
it's
just
the
headed
better
for the-
deal for Brett, 1-1
It really
versus
is.
2-1.
Yeah.
This will be interesting now. If he goes 1-1 into the 3rd, do you choose neutral or do you choose down if you're Cochran? If I'm Cochran, I choose neutral. I would not go underneath Bryant.
Well, you know, Dwayne, back in the day when I was coaching, that wasn't even a consideration. You needed a point, you went down. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Now with like you say, with YouTube and scouting and everybody knowing each other.
Well, they've wrestled each other, and hopefully they watch through the tournament. Oh, he's choosing down, so here we go. And maybe he scored on him from the bottom at Swoka. I didn't see the match. I think you guys did the color commentary, but
I was out for that. I wasn't around.
He was. This is, you know, everybody. This crew is a funny crew. You know,
there we go. Got the escape.
They don't want to take up too much of anybody's time, so they have to go on vacations. Tim went on a cruise. Now, Greg's down in Florida or Jamaica or somewhere. I don't know where he is.
Greg who?
I love it.
Injury time. I think he got poked in the eye.
I want to make I want to
contact knocked
point out
Contact.
something here that struck me as being pretty important. Southwest Ohio Wrestling lost 2 really significant people this last year. Both of them were members of the Southwestern Ohio Wrestling Hall of Fame. One of them was a member of the Ohio High School Hall of Fame. Frank May, who was the head coach at Norwood for many years and a just one of the real gentlemen in the sport. Passed away after a long battle with cancer. Dick Roach, the longtime head wrestling coach
shock.
at Oak Hills, died also this year, doing what he loved best,
Working
pumping
out.
iron. And we miss both of them. Dick would normally be here refereeing, probably, and Frank certainly fought. He cared for his family a tremendous amount. It was amazing to see the outpouring of concern and I guess you have to say love from the wrestling community at both their funerals and memorials. But they're gone, but they're not forgotten.
And Coach, I was very blessed. I had the honor of being able to work with both those guys when I was in high school. When I was a junior, we were getting ready for districts. We went over to Oak Hills, and I was having a great year. And Coach Roach had a couple great guys around my weight, and we went at it. And Coach Roach jumped on the mat with me and gave me some great pointers, and proceeded to give me a bit of a beat down. And then when I made the All-Star team my senior year, Coach May was the coach of the All-Star team. And I tell you, I just fell in love with Coach May at that time. No, I coached at Reading. He's just one of those guys you meet and you can't help but like him. He just really cares about the kids, really cared about the sport.
Yep.
And Dick's the guy you just miss. I mean, that guy was just an Iron Man.
Yep.
Heart as big as it could be, but boy, he was just an Iron Man. And as a kid, he just feared him. And as an adult, you respected him with everything you had.
I think we got a little headbutting here. Bryant seems to be a little
frustrated. Yep.
He lost the contact, and he was asking for time, and the ref didn't give it to him right away. And I think he almost gave up a point there. The ref was looking at him like, don't yell at me, son.
And Walter wasn't happy there. Cochran's in control now, up 5-2. He just has to stay out of the big move. And I'm sure Brett's going to swing for one here in a second. And Cochran's not going to give him a chance. Keep level changing and circling.
He's got a double off right there. That should have been two. So, great job.
Nice match. Nice match.
Well,
was Cochran a senior? Did I see that? No, he's only a junior.
He's only a
Wow.
junior.
who, Cochran?
He's a junior.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. 2 matches left. We go up to 220. I am going to have Quentin Mincy out of Walnut Hills, who was a returning state placer, second at districts last year, 7th at the state tournament. And, you know, this is a tough weight class for us, Dwayne. We got McLeod, Carter, and Mincy, you know, all in the top. You know, you got McLeod 2, Mincy 5, and Carter 4. So we got 3 of the top 5 guys in this weight class right here at our district. So.
Well, and you had Trevor Hankins, who was also ranked, and Jack Hyab that was ranked. You know, and unfortunately, Jack, you know, wasn't able to make the sectional tournament, had an incident and couldn't compete. And Trevor, you know, injured his knee last night and couldn't wrestle today and defaulted out.
Yes, we actually had 5 of the top 9 kids in the bracket in the weight class.
Yep.
Out of one district, that's impressive.
Well, I mean, 220 has been a perennial powerhouse for us. You know, you had Chalmer Fruoff came through. 2 years ago, you had Cole Jones, and then my son Jack, and the kid from Xenia.
Yeah.
And actually, 2 years ago, all 4 220s out of this district placed at state.
Placed at state.
And you know, last year we had 3 of the 4 placed at state. So this is we're a hotbed for this weight class.
And it's still hot. It's still solid.
Yep.
We're going to wait right now for the finish of the 3rd and 4th place match at.
And my guy Sourwine's down 1-0
That's
down
the guy
there.
you were just talking about.
Yep.
How he keeps wrestling. I think he just got his. Did he get one?
He did indeed, tied it up.
Go. So it's Sour Wine
Goldfuss
versus Bledsoe. Sour Wine's in
Bledsoe,
the green and black singlet there. Looks like we're tied up at 1 at 1:40 in the 3rd. Bledsoe with the takedown and no count. So he'll go up 3-1. Sour Wine's back to his feet, gets his 1, make it 3-2.
Could have been grabbing the uniform there. I'm glad they didn't call it. I saw Bledsoe's fingers got caught in Sourwine's singlet and stretched it out.
I forget which semi. I was watching the semis today, and that happened on one of them too.
I hate when that happens. You know, it's not intentional. When your fingers slide in there, it shouldn't count.
And they gave him a point, though.
Yep.
think it might have been one of the Oak Hills kids.
Yeah, I hope they
forget which one
change
it
that
was.
rule. That's one I'd like to see go away.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're using it to an advantage and pulling on it, and just get caught in it is a tough call.
Yep.
But the refs are calling what they're told to call.
That's right.
And enforcing the rules that are put into place. So, well, this is just what you talked about with Sauerwein, Dwayne, why you like to watch him wrestle, that he keeps coming at you. 1-1, he lost the takedown and made it 3-1 and got the escape, and he's put himself back in a position to win the match. So
47 seconds to go here.
You made the right call on this one.
I didn't say he'd win. I said he always battles all the way through the third period.
And he's
Bledsoe's
already
tough,
obviously
man.
shown that. So
Bledsoe's a very accomplished wrestler. And Sauerwein keeps going for the home run there. He doesn't need it. He just needs to take
yeah,
down.
he can take down a win. He's still got 20 seconds to do it.
Maybe that's his style. Maybe he's a thrower. Harrison Gaza wanting a stall call.
We haven't watched the whole match to know whether Bledsoe has a stall call on him or a warning on him or not, so we don't know if the next one's a point.
Something just went wrong with the clock. There was 20 seconds left, and now the time just ran out. That clock's wrong. They need to fix it. There we go. Back to but they should put it back to 20. So they ticked off 2.
16, 15. The count. Yeah, something happened to it.
Yeah.
Sauerwein likes those double overs, doesn't he?
Yeah.
A little heel trip with it. Didn't work. That should be 2.
Yep. Swing and a miss. And he went for it, though.
That's all you can count. I mean,
that's right. That's why I like him.
Absolutely. It's exactly how you called it. He'll battle you to the end.
So anyway, you mentioned you had Quentin Mincy here. I've got Antonio McLeod from Elder. So Antonio, this will be his first trip to the state tournament. He's 42-2. He's currently ranked 2nd in the state. He's had a great year. I mean, last year he was not the caliber wrestler he's competing at right now.
He'll have his hands full. I mean, Mincy's been around for a while, and 4-year starter, all at 220. Although as a sophomore, he dropped down to 195. Should be a good match.
Yeah, Quentin had a good year last year. He wrestled Jack in the finals here and then came back and finished 7th in the state, wrestled a good tournament in Columbus.
Quentin's a real solid body.
In the off-season, he had a huge win. He beat Mason Paris out of Lawrenceburg, who's ranked number 2 in the country.
All right, just won a state title. We had him over at Coleraine.
Yep. So Mincy's tough. McLeod's, I struggle with McLeod because I watched 2 matches, here, and he gave up 9 points and was losing 9 to something, and then came back and did well. Ended up winning the match. I heard last week he was down 9-1 against somebody and came back and won the match. So,
Dave, that's the match we watched with that Perk kid who had him like 8-0 or something.
Oh, earlier today. Yeah. Well, last week he was down 9-1 and came back and won a match.
Yeah.
So, McLeod's ranked high. He's ranked 2nd, but
you
give up 5 points against Jared Campbell from St. Ed's, your match is over. That kid is not going to let you come back.
I don't think you want to put McLeod in a position that he's behind, except in the last 4 seconds, maybe, because he does have that. He has that comeback attitude.
He's a home run hitter too. He swings big the whole time.
He's doing a nice job of banging on the head right here, trying to stuff the head a lot, and that always wears a guy down. You beat on the head, it doesn't really show up till 3 or 4 minutes later, but it can take the wind out of kids.
Well, Mincy hurt himself there. He was in on the shot, and instead of driving through and finishing, he tried to reach back and trip and got extended, and then McLeod, hacked out of it.
This weight is brought to you by Dr. Kevin Riley of TriHealth, one of the outstanding orthopedic surgeons in the city. Again, one of those guys that's given back to the sport. And that brings up a point. If you'd like to give to support athletics, here's a way you can do it. Call 825-2429 and ask to talk to Chip or Tony and tell them, hey, I'd like to get on that crew that does the TV coverage of wrestling. And because we're always looking for volunteers. We have the crew of volunteers that have come up here today. We're still looking for volunteers to work the state tournament. And if you work Friday and Saturday, we even buy you supper. I mean, what more can you ask? So if you're interested, or if you want to just support the programs with your financial contributions, again, call Chip Bergquist at Waycross Community Media. That's 513-825-2429, or check it out at waycross.tv.
So, Tim, how'd you like the way McLeod finished that period?
That was awesome. That was close. Tell you what, right at the last second, getting a 2, but that was a great finish.
Yep. And that's what you want. I mean, that makes a difference in the match. Now he's up, instead of being 1-0, it's 3-0.
Absolutely. I like McLeod. He's solid.
He's very active.
He's got active hands. That's what got him that takedown at the end there. Great snaps.
I think what hurts Mincy a little bit, he doesn't have the schedule McLeod sees throughout the year. You know, Elder's got a real high-end schedule. You know, Mincy just have a couple kids at Walnut Hills, and you know his dad's the coach. Emerson Mincy does a great job with him.
Yep.
You know, his brother helps out. You know, he's tough, man. He was on the podium last year, and you had that big win over Paris. So he's the real deal.
That's a big win.
It's huge.
Walnut Hills has had a big resurgence in athletics in general over the last several years. Been pretty impressive. A lot of times, the identification of the big academic public school, they're showing that brains and brawn don't have to be separated, and it's a very important thing. Their football team's been improving. Got a decent basketball team, a wrestling team. It's a big move forward for the city.
Boy, McLeod looks tough, doesn't he? I mean, he's got a state qualifier.
Heck of a scramble by Mintz, a state placer.
And he's out there just, state placer. He's out there snapping him down. That's impressive. Shows you the improvement somebody can make in a year, because I'm with you. I didn't think McLeod was this solid last year. Very good right now.
And Mincy had him right there and just didn't level change. He did everything right, didn't level change on the shot, and didn't finish.
Got to mention our third place wrestlers here, because one of our Waycross kids is out there on the mat. Jacob Chastile. That's not it. Charette.
That's Carter from Northwest.
Centerville, but Michael Carter of Cincinnati Northwest is in the third place match, and I'm trying to see.
Tied
He's
at
in a
1 right now.
1-1 tie down there.
Back on this match, we'll go into the third, 5-1, with McLeod with pretty dominating. I mean, this is a state placer he's wrestling.
Yep.
It's a pretty solid performance.
So Carter from Northwest, I'm glad to see that kid headed to state. I watched him 2 years ago and couldn't believe he didn't make it out.
Yep.
He just, I think we did a match together last year, and I was bragging on Carter, and he just didn't look good, Dave. We went out and wrestled a bad match against Coleraine. I think we did Northwest Coleraine match last year.
Yeah, that's right, we did, yeah.
And he was bouncing around in weight. I think he dropped down to 95 last year because 220 was so loaded. And
wow.
I'm glad to see he stuck it out at 220 this year, and he's going to make his trip to Columbus.
Boy, for McLeod to put Mincy down like that, that's really impressive. He wrestles better as the competition increases, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he's more focused. Good.
Maybe he just doesn't want to have to come from behind again.
It seems like he likes it.
Well, they've got him ranked 2 for a reason.
Yep.
And he'll have his hands full with Campbell. They probably wrestled already, haven't they?
I don't think they have.
Elder and Eds didn't wrestle?
Campbell's a beast, man. He was Ironman runner-up last year. I don't know if he won Ironman or not this year. I saw Campbell has 1 loss. He actually beat
Missouri, isn't he?
Yeah. He actually beat Stencil last year in the district finals, and Stencil was undefeated to that point, Ironman champ. And,
yep.
And then Stencil ended up pinning him in the finals, but Campbell's an animal.
Stencil was an animal, too.
But McLeod,
tough, man.
McLeod uses that heavy head, or heavy hands, and he keeps pulling Mincy down.
McLeod just looks more active. He looks like he wants it a little more, to be honest with you.
Well, I heard he's a borderline 220. He just wasn't sure what he wanted to do here and thought he had a better shot at placing high at 220 and decided to go 220.
Who's that, Mincy or McLeod?
McLeod.
Yeah.
And McLeod's only a junior. He's going to have another year of this. he should place this year. And
Yeah, let's hope he has a good weekend next weekend, gets high on the podium. Love to see him make the finals.
it's all going to depend on that draw. He has his first trip there.
If he gets Campbell in the semis, you never know. But
You know, and the guy I thought would be a state champ at 220 is actually wrestling heavyweight. That's the Fry kid from Dublin, Kaufman. He's going to play football in college, so he's up at heavyweight. He's a beast.
Probably like 18 or 19. Probably like 19.
And Michael Carter ends up in the third place, winning third place down there.
Yeah, that's great for
I
him.
believe that's whose hand was held up. I was looking around someone.
I can't tell which coach looks happy.
we've got a stalling call on Mincy here. He's just trying to get through the last 13 seconds. McLeod put on a pretty nice performance here this weekend.
It's a case where, that's what we talked about earlier. I'd like to see Quentin just go for it here. And he's content to just let it
Yeah,
in.
he's been completely defensive the whole match.
Yeah, you're losing.
He hasn't. Yeah, you might as well sell out.
Good job by McLeod.
Yep, he
District
wrestled a
champ.
great match.
That's a good champion. That's a good champion.
I tell you, man, Jason Roush has just been great for Elder. You know, I thought, how are you going to replace Dick McCoy?
You don't replace, but you bring in a
right. You know, the next generation. You know,
yeah,
and
that's
at the time,
right.
I think Jason was
That's
at
right.
Glen Estee.
Yeah.
You know, he did well at Glen Estee, but I sure didn't expect him to
He's
come
done
out.
great. He's a good guy. He's a good coach. You know, people like him, and
Kids like him.
that's
Kids
really
buy
what it comes
into
down
it,
to.
man.
And
Kids buy in.
he's got a lot of the traditional guys from
Staff
Elder
hasn't changed at
that
all.
stick with it
Yeah.
and bring the sense of tradition. That's wonderful.
All right,
Heavyweights,
Dwayne. I got 285. I've got Alec Moore-Nash out of Elder, one of their, 4 finalists. He's only a junior. Didn't place at state or didn't go to state or districts. So come in now as a junior. He was first at sectionals last year, and he's 45-4.
All right, now I've got John Spalding. John was a state placer his last year. I think he finished 3rd or 7th. I can't remember which. He doesn't have it written down here. You know, I think he's currently ranked 2nd in the state.
You know what's interesting? We've got a fascinating thing here in the third place match. Zaid Hamden of Mason versus Jacob Padilla of Wayne. Padilla is a freshman as a heavyweight.
Hamden's only a
285.
junior.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Padilla's tough. I watched him wrestle. He only lost, what much did I watch?
He lost to Spalding.
Yeah, in a 3-2 match. He's solid.
So we were talking earlier, I was talking to one of the guys about Padilla. And he's one of those heavyweights, he shoots and shoots and shoots.
He does.
And that semifinal match, he didn't shoot once. You know, he got there against Spalding and let Spalding wrestle his style. So that's freshman. I'm sure his nervous energy was going through the roof being in the district finals as a freshman. But
Yeah.
it'd be nice to see him go out there aggressive next week and make some noise.
We get a win at the state level. Get a win right here would be nice. Just because
You'd rather wrestle a 2 than a
gives you
1.
some confidence.
Especially when the ones are, like Dwayne said, probably going to be Fry is going to be a 1. Vo's going to be a 1.
Yeah, he's gonna get-
You'd rather wrestle a 2.
Yeah. You know, and Vo was the heir apparent last year, just walk away with it. And that Cameron teacher from Central Crossing wanted
out of
nothing to do.
nowhere.
Oh, my God. Well, he was great the year before. And he got pinned first round. He's winning and got pinned.
Yep.
And then last year, he just put it on Vo. I mean, he came out there. That's the first time I ever saw a heavyweight when he goes to get up on the platform, jump the entire set of stairs to get on the platform. You don't see that at heavyweight.
We've got to have our last shout out to the last of our Waycross kids over here on the alternate, the 5th place match. We have Jerron Cage of Winton Woods.
Just won by pin, Coach.
And he just won by a pin. He had one of the most disappointing losses in the consolation semifinals that I can remember in a long time. It was just an atrocious. I hate to say this, but it was an atrocious call.
What we were talking about, Dave, is 1-1 in the third period, and the Mason wrestler got behind him and was trying to take him down, and they were right on the edge of the mat for 15, 16 seconds, and the Mason wrestler went for a trip, and the ref called him for fleeing the mat, and I think he even had one foot still on the mat when
he
they
was
called the
tripped
fleeing.
off the mat, and now I don't know how.
And that ended the match. I mean, it was just, so.
Well, I don't think he'll be thinking about too much next year when he's sitting on the Ohio State sidelines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Urban Meyer was here watching.
Or maybe being on the field, but yeah. And it's interesting. We were sitting up in the stands watching it, and I said, I thought he was bigger than that. I thought he was taller than that. And I came down, and afterward I was trying to go talk to him, and all at once I realized, hey, wait a minute, he's not
big.
short.
No.
He was towering over me, and I'm 6'1". I'm thinking, whoa.
Well, Hamden from Mason's already got several D1 offers for football too, and he's only a junior, so he's going to have he'll do well going forward.
All right, we're back to Spalding with a 1-0 lead. 20 seconds left in the second period.
And this match is brought to you by Dr. Stephen Daly, again from UC Health.
Moore Nash can't even see what he's doing. He's got his headgear down in his eyes. That just bugs me to death. If you wrestle all this time, how can your headgear be getting in your face?
Yeah.
Tighten it up. Do whatever you need to do. But
it bugs me when they stand there and hug for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Moore Nash will have his chance in the down position. See if he can get his one. And it's going to come down to a takedown again. The heavyweights always do.
We were talking about Miami must have something in the water in the school out there. They always seem to come up with a heavyweight.
Oh, Lakota East, you mean?
The Lakota East,
yeah.
Year after year after year. Jim Lehman, little Jim Lehman. I mean, he's half the size. He keeps coming up with these hogs out there. These big, giant, powerful guys.
Well, he's also a very good coach, so that helps too.
Yep. Well, he's another one that came in behind a legend and has done a heck of a job.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a good wrestling coach. I like Jim Lehman a lot.
He's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
He's asking the ref just what is he doing, ref? He's backing up and.
See, that's where I just. He's not trying to score. He's just trying to push him out of the ring. It's hidden sumo, and it's not the old push out in Greco, right?
This is where you start throwing penalty points.
I just say you don't do anything. Just let them go. Make them go into 28 overtimes.
One was doing any more than the other day.
I think if you make all the heavyweights wrestle an extra period every time, they'll try and score more often. I haven't seen a single level change to a shot this entire match.
Look, his headgear's down in his eyes again. Would that not get annoying if you're trying to wrestle like that?
That looks like it would be illegal at a local dance.
I don't know how you can hear it with his eyes covered like that.
Oh, that's terrible. I don't want to go out there and go with him, I'll tell you that, but Jiminy.
I do. I want to go out and do a hesitation to head outside single and see what happens.
That's it.
That's what we could have. We could have a challenge match after the match.
Well, last year we had, totally different style. You had Hensley here, who was a shooter. Spalding, or the kid from Miamisburg that did, or Springboro. John.
He was bleeding all the time.
Yeah.
I forget the name.
Drawing a blank on his last name. I can't imagine. I can't believe it. But those guys would shoot. They were aggressive heavyweights.
They were. I just remember him just bleeding and bleeding and bleeding.
Yeah, he broke his nose 2 weeks before.
Yeah,
he was having
I remember that.
Okay.
Well, we are down to the last match of the night.
We're in overtime.
Yeah, it's got to go OT.
It already is. This is period number 4. All right. So for those who aren't familiar with overtime, so the first period is sudden death. If no one scores, they go into 2 30-second periods. Each wrestler gets their choice of the period, and you continue wrestling. So you wrestle 2 30-second periods regardless, unless there's a fall. And then if we make it through these 2 30-second periods and still tied, then we go to the ultimate tiebreaker, which is the ride out.
This is where, though, for just a 30-second ride, this is where you can win or lose a match. If you can stay on like Spalding's doing here, he's killed half of it now, then all he's got to do is escape and avoid a takedown. So down under 10. More Nash to his feet, though. We'd like to see Spalding drop to a single. There you go. That's exactly what he did when he got a little bit in trouble. He just dropped down to that single and hang on. So now let's see if he can get his one.
Remember the first time we had this 30-second overtime.
More Nash doesn't realize it's not over yet. There he goes.
Yeah, it's not over. More Nash has to get aggressive now. There's just not much time to really set something up and get moving.
That's right. You got to just manage to hit one.
That should be 2.
So we just saw more points scored in 25 seconds than we saw scored in the first 8 minutes.
But it came desperation. More Nash had to take that shot.
Yep.
That will do it with John Spalding from Lakota East. District champ, going to go in as a #1 seed next week.
Spalding district champ last year too, Tim?
Yeah, I've got more Nash. You have Spalding?
Yeah, it doesn't say it on here. So I think he was, actually.
I think he might have been, yeah.
I think you're right. I think he was, yeah. Well, that brings a conclusion here to this year's Division I district finals. Once again, from Kettering Fairmont. And the guys will be tearing down the mats for the last time this season. We'll be getting ready to make the trip north to Columbus. Action starts there on Thursday. The director has been Tony Suarez. The technical director, Emma. We got to run that again. I just blew it.
Jake
Jacobson sitting in front of us. Butch Cuthbert. Hugh Staples on the graphics. Kent Lips on replay. I'm Dave Bean, and with me are Tim Cunningham and Dwayne Meyer. And, well, Sue isn't here, but she is in thought anyway. So, again, contact if you want to see the schedules, go to www.waycross.tv. You can give people a call at Waycross at 513-825-2429. And we'll look for you down the road. We hope you enjoyed wrestling this year. Come on and give a call. Let us know what you think of our programs, and we'll look forward to seeing you next year, folks.
Should be a fun week next week.
So long, Tim. So long, Dwayne. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, thanks.
OHSAA Wrestling on Waycross Community Media. Brought to you by SWOCA, the Southwest Ohio Wrestling Coaches Association. Klein Properties. Foster and Motley, Financial Consultants. Dr. Stephen Daly. Dr. Kevin Riley. Matt and Dominic Mercurio. Cincinnati Sub-Zero. Cincinnati Functional Fitness. General Advertising Products.